Well, I thought that the server was finally gonna let me spectate my games easily, but it took me reloading the game in that occasion. It's still fine. Wasn't really that much of an issue. Let us on making and spell for servitor. This is a pretty good book. I might want to go intelligence because I already have let us on making. If we can complement that with some stone arrow, that would be the greatest thing ever. Literally the greatest thing ever. Strongest demigod known to crawl players. We found an amulet of mana region too. Come on, give me the stone arrow or some like scorch, poison package. You know, something really good for the early game, and we are gonna turn this character into an easy win. Let's see if it actually ends up happening. Gonna throw my jab. Okay, kills the goblin, kills the hobgoblin, misses a null. Literally the opposite of what I wanted it to do. The null has a cloth. I'm gonna melee it, and if it goes poorly, which fortunately it doesn't, it could have also netted it. But like since I was at full HP, it was alone, and it didn't really have a good weapon. I felt like maybe I could kill it just by attacking it, and fortunately it was the case. I'm gonna get a little bit of dexterity first. There's still no. It's still not set in stone that I'm gonna be going for let us on making. In case you don't know what let us on making is, it is iron shot, but it deals less damage, and it has an effect that pretty much doesn't do anything. Slaying victims dissolve into moth, slowing the movements and impairing the attacks of creatures stuck within. That effect would be impactful, very relevant if it wasn't stone arrow. In Iron Shot, I don't think it matters too much. I think that for strong spellcasters, that effect barely does anything, because they're gonna be killing things very fast anyway. You lost your last human Parliamentalist on layer 3 when you were on stairs with nothing adjacent to you, but there were blink frogs on the screen, so you decided to go up the stairs. Blink frogs blinked adjacent to you and had time to deliver the killing blows. Did you get hit by multiple frogs when going upstairs? Because if so, that's like really unusual, like unlikely ways for Kroll to kill you, kind of thing. The kind of thing that I always talk about, you know, the 1% chance to get paralyzed, but you get paralyzed anyway, and that kills you, kind of thing. Multiple frogs, okay, they're killing me as they tend to do. Yeah, sure. Okay, okay. When Kroll doesn't want you to play, Kroll doesn't want you to play a character. Yep, found another. Cannot do anything about that. I wish that Kroll didn't have that kind of thing. Um, I'm okay with enemies, like, well, I'm less okay with them, but I'm still more okay. I'm less okay with the others than I'm with things that are like unkillable. But at least with things that are unkillable, like skeletal warriors and gargoyles, you can run away from them. You cannot run away from others, and others spawn early enough that you're just not gonna have resources to do anything about them other than hope that you don't find them close enough to you. Because if you do, you're not gonna be beating them in melee. They're gonna kill you. I don't like them because of that. I don't think that it is fun to have that kind of monster in the game. Um, and it is like, to be completely fair, I think that part of the issue is that I'm playing demigods. Demigods are not particularly strong beyond a certain point in the game. Or like at the very beginning of the game, that's what I mean. Like they get strong beyond a certain point, but they are not strong in the early game. The mid game is when they start to pick up steam, and yeah, by the late game, they're crazy. They're like Chabriel's worshippers, but without the slow. The thing is getting them to that point. Wasted a ton of experience training things that are less impactful than long blades. That's gonna be painful. Okay, this guy has a spear. A spear means that I can reliably 100% run away from it. I just reliably 100% get hit by an attack of opportunity. I really like spear nulls specifically because of that. You know how much I like certainty, and I feel like spear nulls and in general spear monsters that are not fast give you that kind of certainty that lets you, disengage from them if you think that you're not gonna be able to beat them, which I appreciate. Okay, we're done except for this huge bolt of monsters. Um, this entrance to the dungeon sometimes kills people. That like the very first thing they do is just open that door, but the door is ruined, so yeah, you really shouldn't open it unless you know what you're getting into. Mm, okay, there we go. Just a teeny tiny bit of extra experience going into D2 with level 3, 60% of the way to level 4. Feels pretty nice. Now I can take on any potential others that the game decides to throw at me um, with this extra experience compared to my previous characters that have all run into serious issues with D2 others. Hey, here it is. Experience level 3 other versus, or like other versus experience level 3 character. And of course I win. That level is a world of difference. Like it really is incredible how impactful it is. The extra HP, like going from level 2 to level 3 is just such a crazy impactful amount of HP that you gain. In terms of percentage gain of HP is like the single most impactful level up in the whole game, isn't it? Level 2, level 3. Perhaps level 1 to level 2 is more of an upgrade, but level 1 to level 2 is also not that important because in D1, which is the part of the game where you're gonna get level 2, you're not gonna see messed up things like others. What is that? A falchion. Would be nice if that Okawaru bolt could generate good weapons. It's not like it's Trog to only give you garbage. Um, Kind of seems weird to you that a character can die in the early game just by opening the wrong door, but that's the way the game is now. Mm, I'm okay with that bolt, you know? I was also okay with that bolt that was recently removed that just had a bunch of. Um, it had a bunch of tormentors and other things. They were not tormentors. They were the thingies that explode and torment you, and one of the thingies that explodes and firestorms you. There was a vault that had 8 of those, and one of the things that firestorms you. So if you open the door, you could potentially die to that. I thought that vault was okay because it was ruined, so you could see the contents of the door of the vault before opening it, and like any player that gets to that point in the game is probably gonna be able to immediately realize, hey, that kinda looks like it's gonna kill me if I open it. So if I have to open it, I better do so carefully. Um, that's a very Riff Wizard thing that I'm saying. I'm okay with showing the player all of the information and letting the player die to their own mistakes if they do, in fact, uh, make those mistakes. I don't think that's a bad thing when it comes to games. What I don't like is when the player does everything in their power to survive and the game still kills you. Um, and I feel like Crawl has a good amount of that. And I also feel like that is such a fundamental part of Crawl design that it's never gonna go away. Oh man, this is gonna be awful. Yeah, okay. You know what's awful? That I don't have Wonder Paralysis. Well, at least, yeah. Oh, look at that. At least we have a pretty good ring. Ring of Flying, cold resistance, 5 evasion, at the cost of not having any stealth, but who cares about stealth anyway? Mm. Yeah, full HP Demigod versus Jelly, and the Jelly almost kills me. More dexterity. 27 damage across 2 turns, pretty rough. I don't know any spells, and the spells that I have are not really to my liking. They're not Stone Arrow, and they're not the Poison Package. They're not Scorch, so I'm not really interested in picking them up. I only really like to pick up spells unless they're like if they're spells that are crazy impactful. I don't think any summon spell is crazy impactful. So earlier, my character that had the manual of summonings didn't pick up summonings precisely because of that. Not that it would have mattered anyway, because I just didn't like between the point where I had the option to go for summonings and the point that I died, I didn't really get that much experience anyway. So even if I had turned on summonings, it wouldn't have really mattered. I don't think that I would have gotten to the point where I could cast something in the kind of body armor that I was wearing. Maybe if I had unequipped all of my body armor, I could have cast something, but like, what's the point of doing that? I would rather be able to melee. It's okay on D1, just restart. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of just restart because the crawl design philosophy assumes that players are gonna be trying to win every game. Um, so having that and also having monsters that just like kill you with not really anything that you can do about it in the same game, like those two things are not really congruent. Like sure, the player is gonna try to win their best to win, but we're also gonna put some stuff into the game that just kills the player for no good reason. I'm not a fan of that. Really, really not a fan of that. Talking about things that I'm not a fan of in Crawl, I made a video about that kind of thing, and I was actually wondering if I should make it public or if I should leave it private or like in Patreon, or if I should just like not show it to anyone. I put it on Patreon, and the way that like I've gotten some mixed replies to the video, like reactions, I guess, from the people who have watched it. Some people have told me to make it public, to just put it on YouTube, like it doesn't matter. Other people have told me that gaming as a whole already has a good chunk of negativity towards developers and people who call the shots, and that it is probably not the best of ideas to put something out there that just increases the amount of negativity that people who play video games in general have towards developers in general. And I think that's a pretty good point. But I think that like it's not terrible enough for me to just like never publish it or anything. Now that I have put it on Patreon, I think that I can just leave it on Patreon. Maybe I'll put it on YouTube one of these days. But for now, that's the only Patreon exclusive content that I have. In general, my content will not really be Patreon exclusive. It's just that that was a very singular situation. I think that I can beat Maggie. What do you have? Steam skills? Oh, you have a +3 halberd. I was thinking that I could beat her because I have fire resistance, but I may not be able to because she has that +3 halberd. And she hexes me. And I hex her. Okay, that's nice. Go find something to fight against. Watch Maggie become uncharmed immediately. Or kill that orc. I think it became uncharmed before finding that orc. But yeah, if I had a Wand of Paralysis could have easily killed Maggie since I succeeded at the hex. Yeah, that's why I say that. Man, I should really mention it in the Roguelikes Discord. In fact, I'm gonna do it right now before I forget. Um, Okay, I have put it in the Roguelikes Discord. My reasoning is that when you want to charm, like you want to charm because you're fighting a band of monsters, for example, and you just want to charm, I don't know, a knight or something. Um, yeah, you want to charm a knight or something to to help you kill some stuff. But if you're fighting only one monster, you want to paralyze it because charming it doesn't really give you any tactical advantage when it comes to fighting it. That, in my opinion, is like a good enough reason to just revert item sets between charming and paralysis. Like I really don't like that change at all. Um, I just made a video about changes that I don't like, and I didn't mention item sets, but I don't like some specific item sets. Some of them are okay, but specifically the paralysis charming one, I'm not really okay with. Like I feel like they're very different items. That the only thing that they have in common is that they check willpower. Like you want to use them in completely different situations versus completely different kinds of enemies. You wouldn't charm an orc a normal orc, but maybe you would paralyze a normal orc. Paralyzing a normal orc would let you run away from like a bunch of monsters in a corridor, for example. Um, okay, this guy's being pretty rude. Why is this guy not dead? Like, look at how much stab I've done versus this Steam Dragon. It's still alive. Oh man, I was at full HP when I started this, and I am now at 26 HP. Pretty miserable. Certainly not a fan of Variants being so rough. Um, I wanted to kill it without equipping fire resistance, but it seems that it was not really possible. Man, and people say that resistances do not matter in the early game. I think that resistances absolutely matter. It's just that they are kind of a swap-in thing, as opposed to later in the game where like you're gonna be fighting things that are gonna check your resistances left and right. So at that point, it's more of a swap out thing when you don't want to have certain resistance in favor of other resistance or whatever. But ideally, you wouldn't have to juggle your inventory when you get to the later parts of the game. I know that I don't like ring swapping. It's kind of annoying. Oh, oh, I got a gong. Should I equip it? Okay, I'll equip it. Okay, let's see how long it takes for it to kill me. I have no doubts that it is going to kill me, but I just want to see when it's going to kill me. So I pretty much enabled Kaslal mode. As you can see, like it just attracts all the enemies towards you. I think that fighting in this spot is nice, so I can at least see if something is gonna surround me. You want any monster in the level to go to your location, then Gong is for you. Yep, Kaslal mode. If this character could worship a god, I would go Kaslal. I think that the only moment where you're justified to go Kaslal is when you find the shield of the Gong on the 8. Saves you going for the monsters. Yeah, like who needs stealth, right? But at the same time, I definitely prefer to not be fighting endlessly until my resources are completely depleted and I die because of the endless fighting. That is not my kind of thing in Crawl. Definitely not. Okay, feels like I'm pretty strong now. The main difference between this character and the previous one is that this one still has nets, I suppose, and the secondary difference is that this character has gotten some pretty okay items so far. Should I wait for that ring? Man, that ring is really good. But yeah, I think I'm gonna buy the Amulet of Regen. Regen is a very important property to have after all. Yeah, I have Gong. Um, The ring has poison resistance. And I don't have poison resistance. That's why I was thinking about saving for the ring. Especially about considering that I'm about to go into Lure, the land of the fast poisonous monsters. It might be really in my best interest to acquire a source of poison resistance before that. I have cold resistance, so this is fine. Is that a manual of ice? Oh, it's not. Book of Cantrips. Yeah, I saw the Icy Vault and I was hopeful about a manual of ice magic, but it is not meant to be, not today. Okay, I see Erika, which by the way, hits you with poison damage. I think it might be good to not have to fight that immediately. Oh, it was a Lure entrance. Huh. With a Rhyme Drake. I think a Lure entrance with a Rhyme Drake is kind of nasty. Erika is trying to hex me, but I have Gong. Gong gives willpower. Definitely pretty useful property to have. Always very happy to have willpower. Okay. Oh, did I? I was standing on the stairs. I shouldn't have stepped away. This might be a serious issue. Yeah, the reason why I think that it might be a serious issue is because the priest is protected by the front row, so it can just smite me to oblivion. So far, I've lost 26 damage or 26 HP to this priest. Okay, I'm probably gonna die to the priests unless I get heal wounds. Okay. Erika says I'm so much better than you. I guess that I am kind of inclined to agree. Look at that damage output. That was like half of my HP in a single ability. Cannot really deal with that. I'm okay with having to run away from uniques, I have to say. The things that I said earlier about having to run away from monsters do not really apply to uniques because there's only one, and a unique is kind of expected to be like that, you know? It is an extraordinary monster. But when you see a D10 Skeletal Warrior, like, it is stronger than most uniques you would see at D10, so I am definitely never in favor of things like the D10 Skeletal Warriors. Okay, it's just gonna die. Scroll Poison, always a hard counter to Boulder Beetles. Boulder Beetles are weak to poison, in case you're not aware. And they like to jump away from you, so that almost always makes them land on a tile of poison. So Scroll Poison, even if the Boulder Beetle is already next to you, is a really good thing to use versus it. With the Shield of the Gong, I might be able to take on this guy. What's my attack speed, by the way? 0.9. I have min delay. Yeah. Oh, Ring of Evasion. I think I would rather keep the armor class. My defenses right now are kind of incredible for a character at this point in the game. 18, 7, 28 defenses are ogre defenses for like winning the game, funnily enough. This is not an ogre, but the fact that I have ogre defenses right now is pretty funny. Like ogre endgame defenses is what I mean. Okay, having a Scimitar of Flaming is a pretty great find. Now I can go do Lure, and because I have 18 armor class, I think that I can probably deal with Hydras. I should be able to win versus Hydras. Yep, there was definitely a good enough reason for me to fight Erika. I just had to take the fight in an arena that didn't cause me to take nuclear damage if Erika decided to use Force Lance. Force Lance is a rare case of a spell that got removed but replaced with something way better. Funnily enough, in case you're not aware, Force Lands, that the spell that some monsters have used to be a player spell that was literally the same thing. But the pushing away effect got merged into Mystic Blast, and Mystic Blast doesn't miss and hits everything that surrounds you. Like it sure has a shorter range, but the extra effects that it has, it not missing and it hitting everything that's next to you is very valuable. Like those are some very valuable properties. I don't think that I need exhibitionism in my life right now, so I'm just gonna leave it in the floor. We don't need that. I am much better off with my Scimitar Flaming. Um, I do have to say that if you're somehow using Necromancy, like if you care about Necromancy, perhaps a Scimitar or like a Falchion of Pain is a good thing to have. Okay. I don't have Scrolls of Fear anymore. This would be a good time to get Charming to actually do something, and it does. Okay, yeah. Shouts to Charming. When you're fighting multiple things is when Charming is good. The thing is that you almost never want to be fighting multiple things like this, right? It's two Boulder Beetles after all. Okay, it reached me. Okay, I'm just gonna go upstairs. I sure wish that I had another Scroll Poison to deal with them, but unfortunately we may have one. No, we don't have any. Okay, big damage, but it's not massive damage, nothing that we cannot deal with. And I think that the Shield of the Gong is definitely carrying this character through the early game. Sure, no complaints. Do I go Lair? I guess that I go Lair now. Oh, immediately upon entering Lair, Gastronok with a normal hat. So not even a willpower hat or the hat of pondering or anything, just a normal hat. I'm gonna re-teleport because I'm not a fan of getting hit by 50 damage airstrikes, which Gastronok is perfectly capable of delivering. Okay, landed very close to Gastronok. Gastronok just reaches me. Pretty rough. Should I just go downstairs? Because like I can definitely just go downstairs. The more I walk, the more likely I am to encounter more enemies to ruin my day. And every time I fight, I just make a bunch of noise and I alert everything that could possibly be undecidable into my position. So here we are. That's exactly what happened. Charming. Okay. This Wand of Charming is working overtime. Like at this point, I'm starting to think that maybe I should get some evocations, a skill to make use of the Charming. I have a lot of charges of it too. Gonna get a corridor. If I'm gonna be fighting a million monsters at the same time, I at least wanna fight them one at a time. Gastronok. It sure would be nice to have this Cane Toad fight Gastronok. Gastronok is not poison resistant, but it's not poison weak. Weak to salt, but there is no salt in this game. I think there might be an effect that actually hurts monsters like Gastronok if they get hit by a cloud of salt, but it is very difficult to get clouds of salts and Gastronok at the same time. Yeah, I might have to teleport away from this one. Man, goodbye all my scrolls of teleport. I think that I should really go downstairs. The game's really resisting my attempts of going downstairs, however. At least those jacks were easy to deal with. I don't have fire resistance right now, but I can get 2 pips if I need them, and I do need them for that volcano. Hopefully we get a Cloak of Fire resistance. I think that's the absolute best thing that you can get from a volcano. Cloak of Fire resistance. Yeah, I'm getting carried by the Shield of the Gong so hard. It sure is bringing me a lot of trouble, to be completely fair, but it is also making it so that I can actually deal with all the trouble. Okay, until that. That is kind of messed up. Yeah, that is so rough. And I don't have teleport anymore. Oh, this is so awful. Yeah, the worst part, like the torpor snail just does its thing if you can see it. It is slow, but so are you. So it gives you one turn of slow for every turn that it is in your line of sight. It renews it every turn. It's pretty rough. Having it at the edge of the screen means that you're still affected by it, even if you move away from its line of sight every turn. And it is very painful. Man, I really wish I had teleport right about now. Okay, I got antennae. One of the worst mutations that are disguised as good mutations. I'm just gonna drink a potion of 3. But look, what I want here is like haste or might, so that I can actually kill all of these guys. Fogu would also be okay. Yeah, that's perfect. I needed Fogu because I don't want to be slowed by the torpor snail. Okay, we also have a 7-headed Hydra. I'm gonna kill the Jax first. Yeah, this is a pretty messed up situation. I should probably keep drinking for haste, but the more I drink, the more chances I have to hit cancellation, which just kind of kills me. So I should probably stop. Yeah, it would have been nice if I had found haste as well, but at least only might got the job done. It also helped a lot that I didn't see the torpor snail, and we still have monsters. Yeah, the unfortunate perils of being a character that's using the shield of the gunk. This is awful. I didn't want to reveal more enemies. Um, and I really want to teleport, but we don't have teleports. Oh boy, I have to blink. Man, this is so full. When I said that the shield of the gunk was carrying me, I didn't mean this. Yep, I'm probably gonna die to the shield of the gunk. Oh wow, that's pretty garbage. I don't think the dream sheep needs to talk to put me to sleep. This didn't happen. Oh, okay, there it is. And I got pushed away from my choke point. Just like Caslal. Yeah, Caslal is indeed a trap. Pretty awful thing to be in the receiving end of. In my opinion, the worst god in the game, because the upsides that Caslal has are nowhere near as good as to warrant going Caslal at all in the first place. The downside of Caslal is worse than the upside of Caslal. Oh, it has a 17% chance to get hexed. Why do elephants have a lot of willpower? I should maybe drink another potion of 3 here. Yeah, okay. This is a position where I think drinking a potion of 3 makes sense. The salamander has a ranged weapon. Man, this is miserable. I guess we're gonna drink to find attraction. Oh, it was a potion of experience. Okay, I have 2. Sure, I guess. Okay, now I have 11 shields. Okay, I want attraction still, however. Okay, that's the opposite of attraction. That's pretty miserable. Oh my god, am I dead? I might be dead. I still need attraction. I still need attraction. Still need attraction. Still need attraction. Or cancellation, I guess. That removes the slow. But I still need attraction. Cannot believe that I haven't found attraction. This game, I have found 2 potions of experience, but 0 potions of attraction. Can you believe it? Okay. Man, this, I feel like I just fought the entirety of the level. Like, literally fought the entirety of the level. And by the way, my final scroll was a scroll fear. I feel like that could have definitely helped. It's distant, but I don't know what it is. Yeah. 3 form is so nice. Okay, I don't think that it is in this direction. I have to go in the opposite one. Okay, I found it. Very lucky. I got -2 strength in my drinking rampage. I got mutation. Okay, that also allows me to wear my helmet again. Pretty nice. Imagine if you could have -hand as a bad mutation. Like -hand, just like Ru gives you -hand. That would be absolutely miserable. Flight so good? Oh yeah, flight is fantastic. Very good thing to have. I could theoretically just do this, and now you cannot hurt me, haha. And I can just regen to full HP and move to a spot where I can get hit again to make them move and fight them one by one. Like, you know, very strong thing to have for sure. I have willpower. I'm not afraid of you because I have willpower. That guy has a demon blade of flaming. I guess that's mine now. I'm not using a polearm or ranged weapon because I have. Well, when it comes to ranged weapons, I don't like them like at all. I do think that they make sense to use when you're doing this kind of thing. Um, but like I'm going for swords dexterity because swords is a good way to actually hit things. Getting killed by the ogre mage. How much range does this thing have? 5. Okay, so it is actually manageable that I leave them, that I stay beyond the range of these two guys, or kind of. I mean, I guess it would be better if I knew where the mage is. Oh, it is all the way over there. Okay, cool. What if I just sit here? Oh, I guess I can't. This is kind of awkward. Like, I think the complicated thing here is that I'm fighting all of these guys at the same time. Yeah, the Ogre Mage and the Red Draconian at the same time are kind of rough. Glad that I have permanent flight. Okay, they're actually letting me regen to full. Can I try to hex any one of you guys? Not you. And 35. Okay, so if I had a little bit of evocations, maybe I should have put one of those 2 potions of experience into evocations and the other one into armor. Yeah, we can use that Demon Blade to just win the game. It is good enough to enchant. Not rebrand, at least not until I am free of the Bane that are Hydras. Maybe when I don't have to deal with Hydras anymore, I can rebrand it. Okay, there we go. I can still wait to be back at full HP and then fight that Draconian. But before fighting the Draconian, I could just pick up and use this Demon Blade of Flaming. Better than the Scimitar that I have. Hits faster and hits harder. Or does it actually hit harder? Oh, it does hit harder. Yeah, it absolutely hits harder. Just a straight up upgrade over my current weapon. We found a cloak. Unfortunately, not a cloak of fire resistance. I guess we enchant it. Do I want to downgrade into the scale mail of fire resistance? Probably not, right? Yeah, probably not. Oh, great sword of flaming. I can. Oh, but I have shield of the gong. I was thinking that maybe it would be a good idea to use that instead of the demon blade, but shield of the gong. But I suspect that there's gonna be a point in the game where I'm gonna be overwhelmed by using the shield of the gong, and at that point I would rather throw it away and use either another shield or a two-handed weapon. I guess I don't have to really commit to commit any amount of experience towards two-handing for now. I might not do it since I already put a lot of experience, including 2 potions of experience into shields. I have 2 pips of fire resistance equipped, so I might as well just get rid of that now and then get rid of my 2 pips of fire resistance. We don't need the Ring of Fire anymore. We can leave it in the floor. I only carry those Rings of Fire and Rings of Cold for volcanoes and in ice caves respectively. I wish that Rings of man, that's pretty decent. It's not great, but it is pretty decent. Definitely worth carrying around. I think that Rings of Resistance to Fire and Cold and Rings of Cold on Fire should be merged in the sense that like Ring of Fire Resistance or Cold Resistance should also give the enhancer, but not give you the downside of the Ring of Fire and Ring of Cold. I think that would be a cool change because, like, how many times do you really use the Rings of Fire and Rings of Cold for an extended period of time? I feel like the downside that they have is too much of a downside. Um, Man, we're finding some really, really good stuff today. I'm not an octopus to be finding all of these pretty decent rings. They're all pretty decent. They're not incredibly strong. Well, I guess that Ring of Cold Resistance, Willpower, and Stealth that I have and that I am not going to equip is pretty decent. Like pretty strong. I'm not gonna equip it because I don't really need the Willpower just yet, nor the Cold Resistance. I would rather have 5 Evasion and 4 Armor Class than having those things for now. Maybe later. Um, I think that I would be more interested if it was fire resistance instead of cold resistance because I don't really have that. Condenser vein. I was very bitter about how crazy nerfed this item was. It's still not great, but at least it's less completely unusable as it was before. I guess that we have to use it a bit in this game to see if it's still bad enough for me to not even think about it. Okay, we found a jack band. I was going to use condenser vein versus this jack band, but like um, the demon blade that I got made me strong enough to be able to kill it without really using anything, so I'm not gonna use it. We found an ice cave. That's a good enough good thing to find, considering that I have a ridiculous amount of cold resistance. So I heard the imps. I don't know in which direction they are, but I know that they're kind of close to where I am. Oh, okay. Yeah, the imps are guarding the ice cave, so we just kill the imps while making incredible amounts of noise in the process. We kill a Nidra and we go into the ice cave, and let's see what we got here. First of all, I guess we're gonna be putting this on 2 pips of cold resistance. Oh, it's the hourglass one. I don't like the hourglass one because it's very difficult and rewards are pretty lame. You guys think that that scroll is acquirement? Ooh, it was! Wow, okay. I was not expecting it. Oh, wow, double sword of electrocution. I kind of want the double sword of electrocution. That's more of an endgame weapon to me than a demon blade. I'm gonna grab it, just because I like the extra damage output. Man, that's kinda crazy. I cannot believe that it actually was a scroll of acquirement. Probably the only way that this bolt would have been worth doing. If it always had a scroll of acquirement, it would be nice. And yeah, what I mean is like this. You have to fight 3 ice statues, and you have to be submit to the damage of the 2 of them while you're hitting like the 3rd one that you're trying to kill. That setup is so annoying to deal with. Um, there's bolts that place 2 ice statues in such a way that you can easily and safely fight them one at a time. This one forces you to fight essentially all 3 of them at the same time, which can be pretty rough, except for the fact that this character has a flaming weapon at min delay, so I can actually kind of kill them without really that much complication. Yeah, I have a pretty good character for doing specifically what I'm doing right now. but most characters would struggle. This is a pretty miserable experience. And then when you're done with the final one, like you don't get to take a break between killing the final ice statue and fighting the rest of these guys, which might be extremely difficult to survive. In fact, I'm really nervous about that Dire Elephant's simulacrum, but it was fine. Yep, this bolt is just the worst one because of that. Okay, we found +8 plate. Um, yep, most characters would see that and just like not do it at all because it is an extremely rough bolt. Um, but I was able to do it. And I got +8 plate as a reward for already being powerful enough to do this. And acquirement too. Um, so yeah, sure. We're gonna train this to 15, we're gonna train this to 16, we're gonna train this to 10, we're gonna train this to 15, and then we shall go from there. We shall see from there. Now that I have found acquirement, I don't really need to read, identify anything or so. Getting shafted into Lure 5 with the Shield of the Gong is actually kind of worrisome. Hopefully things go okay. At least I have a corridor. So like even if I have to fight this whole bolt, the Shield of the Gong does kind of protect you a good amount. It's okay. So let me explain this. The Shield of the Gong is better than Kaslal. While having the same downside as Kaslal, because at least the Shield of the Gong kind of protects you. As long as you're not fighting anything that ignores the shield, you can actually do well in the very long fights that the shield submits you to. But with Kaslal, like that really is not the case. Man, that god design is a huge mess in my opinion. Um, I think that if you're gonna make a goth that makes you be in endless fights, it should also have something like the Maklev HP regen, which Kaslal is never gonna get, of course, because it doesn't make sense thematically, and it's already on Maklev, so there's that. I'm gonna get more fighting, then I'm gonna get my min delay on the double sword. Okay. Oh, this is the moment to use Condenser Bane. Yeah, this is definitely the kind of fight to use Condenser Bane on. What if you had the Gong and Kaslal? It would be okay. Okay, poison gas, no poison gas, poison gas. Man, it still hurts. Like, I got, okay, admittedly I have 0 evocations, but I still think that the power of the clouds should really scale with evocations skill the way that it used to be. Because right now, like, it's not very strong. I think that it feels pretty bad when you are when you use Condenser Bane and you just get like 2 clouds. Maybe that changes later on when I have more evocations, but for now, yeah, who knows. Um, for now, it is completely unusable at 0 evocations, and at least. And by completely unusable, I mean that it's probably not impactful enough to be worth a turn. Even in a situation where you're like literally surrounded with monsters and every tile that you can see, using Condenser Bane only got me 2 clouds at 0 skill. So yeah, I would recommend you not to use it. Funnily enough, in that situation before the nerf, it would have kinda won me the fight super hard. I guess that I still won the fight, but I certainly can't tell you that I didn't win the fight because I used Condenser Bane. You think there's a 0% chance that I play NetHack? Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. Like, in fact, I almost started a NetHack game today, and I was like, you know what? I'm having an okay Friday. I have been playing Street Fighter 6. Since I've been playing Zangief, my hand pain is kind of going away because my first like in the beta 2 weeks ago I played Guile and I actually kind of enjoyed the experience of playing Guile. But at the same time, charging and charged characters make my hand hurt because you have to hold down the direction, and that kind of makes my hand hurt. Um, so so yesterday I was playing a lot of that, And when I ended the stream, or when I ended playing, because I didn't play it on stream, my hand was really hurting. So I went to bed and I woke up and my hand still hurt. Right now it doesn't hurt anymore. But I didn't play Guile today. I played Zangief. Um, was it by mistake? Um, what that I got? That I got petrified there, and there was not really any way for me to avoid getting petrified there. Um, yeah, once again, there's no way for me to avoid getting petrified. Oh, that I almost started a NetHack game. Oh, you may not be aware of that, but like there's a NetHack tournament that happens every June. It was founded by some of my old NetHack community buddies. Um, am I just gonna get petrified again? Wow, this feels awful. Um, yeah, so that's why I almost started a NetHack game. Um, because of June NetHack. I might have to actually do it. Um, I think there's a non-zero chance that throughout the month of June, moving forward, like from now on, um, every June I win at least one NetHack character on stream. And I remind myself why I completely and utterly despise NetHack once a year. Yeah, Team Splat, good people. Yeah, I think that like I would probably play on console, so don't expect tiles. I don't really know if it's possible to play NetHack with tiles online anyway. Um, and when I played NetHack on console. Apart from my very first win, which was offline in tiles. My first experience with NetHack was tiles, then console for the vast majority of it, then um, tiles once when I played like a year ago. There was one stream where I played a little bit of NetHack. Didn't really get very far. Man, I imagine the prospect of starting a NetHack character and it's dreadful. Like I cannot imagine it being fun. I like in reality, the more I think of it, the least I want to do it. Man, I wish NetHack was a more enjoyable game. You're used to NetHack console. Yeah, play a game again to remind yourself why you hate it. I would do that to NetHack just because NetHack is special. I wouldn't do it for Tom or for Kochmind, but I would do it for NetHack. Um, Yeah, I don't like NetHack as a game, but I like NetHack as an experience, and I also appreciate NetHack as the game that introduced me to roguelikes as a whole. Um, play Fig Hack or some variant with Auto Explore. Oh, I probably need Auto Explore. Yeah, I remember the vast majority of the pain of playing NetHack when I revisited it on stream was the lack of Auto Explore. Um, in fact, I was recently I recently made a video that's probably gonna remain Patreon exclusive regarding things that I don't really like about recent updates to crawl. And I think I briefly mentioned Meteoran and their lack of auto explore as a thing that I didn't like. Or I don't know where I mentioned it, but I did mention it recently. It may have been on a stream. Um, oh no! I know what kind of character I mentioned it on. What I mentioned it on. It was on the tournament overview video. I'm pretty sure it was on that video. NetHack Explorer is terrible compared to Crawl, so don't get excited. I know what I am getting into when it comes to NetHack Auto Explore. If it's based upon the original version of NetHack Auto Explore that I got to test all those years ago, then yeah, I don't expect it to be as great as Crawl Auto Explore. Um, I bet it's gonna be better than what I tried all those years ago. Um, let's go back to the dungeon. D12 the Nork. Is any of you playing the NetHack tournament just like out of curiosity? I wonder if there's a lot of overlap between people who actively play NetHack now and people who watch my stream. Because I feel like my stream is more like for NetHack refugees that survived the NetHack experience more than for people who actively play NetHack. You would most years, but your hands hurt these days. I hope that it gets better. Yeah, my hands were hurting earlier with Street Fighter 6, as I mentioned, but it was not too bad. It very quickly went away. I wonder if I could play charged characters if I got a stick or a hitbox or something. Because the holding down the direction thing is probably not as much of an issue on a lever compared to on a path. Yeah. New evil hack uber hard combo draw convict. Evil hack. Is that developed by Evil Mike or is it just called evil hack because it's NetHack but evil? I should be able to beat you, even if you berserk, because I have the shield of the gong. The moment that the shield of the gong fails me, I'm probably gonna take a lot of damage, but fortunately it doesn't happen. We're not gonna be using the greatsword. Yeah, with the double sword in my possession, I am sure that I'm not gonna be using a greatsword. K2's variant. K2 sounds like a familiar name. I probably shouldn't tap Jorgrun. Or maybe I could tap Jorgrun if I use the Scroll of Silence. You fight Cthulhu instead of the High Priest, among other things? Is it shorter though? Because I think that one of my main grievances with NetHack now is the fact that it is so crazy long, especially extended, or well, not extended, but like the hells. Yeah, fortunately, there's no extended in NetHack. Well, I should probably not say fortunately because it's probably a downside that there's no extended. Imagine if if NetHack ended when you finish the castle, because in reality NetHack games end when you finish the castle and you get your wishes and you just assemble your kit of gear that makes you essentially unkillable. Like at that point, you could give very simple instructions to a neophyte and the neophyte would probably win the game. As long as the neophyte keeps in mind that it's like a turn-based game and you don't need to immediately act whenever things get crazy. But yeah. So I would like to see a NetHack that ends at that point in the game. That doesn't have to do all the mazes and stuff. Though I heard recently that apparently there's no more mazes in Hells or in Jenna. Genom is called in NetHack. Same thing, really. Okay. I kind of want to teleport, but I only have one teleport, so I'm just gonna go over here and get myself a corridor. It's a weird world when you have more charges of digging than scrolls of teleport. But here we are. Time for condenser vein to be worthless again. Okay, one of these guys has a polearm. Meth clouds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. 5 meth clouds. Oh, 6, right? 7 meth clouds. Okay. Yeah, not that many of them. Rather low impact consumable. In this occasion, since we got meth clouds, however, I think that it is not not as low impact as it was before with the 2 clouds of poison. Yeah, those 2 clouds of poison were absolutely worthless. This is at least a bit more exciting. How do I feel about Sack of Spiders? I heard that it can summon some pretty strong stuff now. Like it can summon Broth Mothers at high invocations. I think that probably Chimera Box is more powerful than Sack of Spiders, but it's still okay to have. Like in reality, I don't know if you've noticed, but I very rarely use that item. Uh, Chimera box and well now sack of spiders because it's a summon thing. I don't really use summons. Okay, the high priest summoned a 650. Oof, it's the one in the background in the back row. I don't like this situation. I guess that I have to use acid because at least once still deal pretty okay damage. Okay, I hope the 650 doesn't make me explode. Didn't Shield of the Gong used to give resistance to electricity? Huh. I guess not. I sure wish that it did. Alright. Once again, I feel like I fought the entirety of the level at the same time. Nothing there. Mark? I guess I don't care about Mark. I'm perma-marked already. Who cares about a little bit of more Mark? +1 boots. My current boots are plus non-existent, actually. I don't have boots. So I guess that I should probably buy those. Watch me find much better boots immediately after buying these. Yeah, it's been changed a couple of times. I think it used to be a tower shield too. Now it very clearly is not. Let's see what this is. Cloak of Poison Resistance. Well worth it to buy that random item. Could you imagine if it was like that in real life? Like if you went to a shop and you bought a weird glowing item without actually knowing what it is? It's like gacha. Yeah, gacha is a terrible model. I'm glad that it's not more widespread in real life. But I think it's not because of the lack of will of big companies to make more money, but it's more like imagine going to like I don't know McDonald's and then buying for $5 your random meal, which is 99% chance of being absolutely inedible and 1% chance of being a meal worth $5. Yeah, that would be annoying. Ming vases and stuff. Oh yeah. I don't know what Goodwill is, though. I think that I have an idea. Is it like a thrift store where people donate stuff and they just sell it, and then they donate some of their earnings to charity or something like that? That's what I imagine when you mention Goodwill. Yeah, there's not really a lot of that in Mexico. Um, I think that people to begin with don't have a lot of things to donate in the first place. Um, and whenever they do feel the need to get rid of stuff, I feel like informal commerce is more of a popular thing here in Mexico City. Like for example, I think that it is known in the U.S. as flea markets. That is incredibly common in Mexico. It's called tianguis, and you can find them all over the city. Um, like some people just like organize their own with their own stuff that they want to sell, like a yard sale. That is also another good comparison. But tianguis are extremely popular in Mexico City. So popular, in fact, that you can often see like food businesses and stuff, street food in tianguises whenever they get organized. It's usually on weekends. Like people just do their stuff in normal Monday through Friday, and then they just get their stuff out to sell it on Sunday. Um, yeah, I don't think that any of those businesses makes enough money to afford being operational only 1 day a week. Informal commerce is very prevalent in Mexico. Like, it's not quite tax avoidance, um, but they just it's informal commerce at the end of the day. So obviously they don't pay any taxes. Lodul in this occasion wasn't as painful as I am accustomed to Lodul being, which is pretty nice. Mm. What branches did I get? Shoals and Snake, so that means that I'll be able to switch to the double sword very soon. Very soon. Hello, will I actually try to win a NetHack character? I was talking about that just a minute ago. I said that I was thinking about it because there's like a NetHack tournament in June, so I figured that maybe I could play once a year, like win one NetHack character on stream every June. For as long as I stream. But the idea of playing NetHack as a whole is so dreadful because it's just a pretty boring game to me now. So I kinda want to, but at the same time, I wish NetHack wasn't such a boring game. Yeah, I know that it's a pretty weird thing to say. Like, I want to play NetHack, but I want to play a NetHack that isn't boring. But that's really how I feel. Like, I have good memories from my time playing NetHack, and like certainly um, I have mm, how to put it? I have appreciation for the community, I guess is a good way to put it. Yeah, and I also like the idea of the game. I like that it was the reason why I'm streaming Crawl here today. With no NetHack, there wouldn't be any Crawl for me as a whole. Like I probably would have never found Crawl if it was not for NetHack. Um, but I don't really want to play NetHack. Yeah, I might still do it anyway, even if I don't want to do it. Okay, this character is pretty strong. I feel like this kind of ridiculous, absurd fight would have already finished many other characters. All of your friends lived near a favela, and it had one place where it sold underpriced pizzas with a lot of toppings. We suspected it was a money laundering scheme. It probably was, but at the same time, that is none of your business, and you got to eat well, which I guess is the most important thing for you and your friends. Um, Eating well is very important in life. I think that it is one of the most important things that people can do, eating well. Mm. Man, this character is surprisingly strong. Haven't really commented a lot on it, but the kind of thing that I'm getting away with doing with this character is kind of ridiculous. Like, did you see the fight with the Bogart? I would have teleported away if I had gotten more than one scroll of teleport. Um, but I didn't really want to teleport, like, and burn my last teleport with no blinkings. I have 2 haste at least, so there's that. But yeah, there were multiple skeletal warriors and other really ridiculous things, and I just daffed through all of that with like no real issue. Man, shields are so strong. Yeah. Um, Even with the massive nerfs to shields, shields are still so strong. Even this bolt, which normally I despise, is being pretty easy thanks to the shield of the gong. Oh, okay, I got a scroll blinking. That's really nice. I should get fire resistance at some point. That's one of my character's weaknesses. Low evasion, no fire resistance. By the way, I have -5 evasion from the shield of the gong and +5 evasion from the ring. So if I took off both those things, I would still have 7 evasion. Oh, probably would have a little bit more because the shield of the gong is probably reducing my evasion a bit more than 5 because it is a shield at the end of the day. Am I done? That felt quick. Man, that's the kind of thing that I was telling you about earlier. Demigod gets really strong once it gets going. Um, I guess it doesn't hurt that I found 2 potions of experience early on and I drank them, and now I have a really strong character. Mm. Yeah, what about you near 1000? Are you gonna try to win a NetHack character in the NetHack tournament? I wonder if anyone's gonna play the NetHack tournament on like Twitch or so. Let's see who we can find. You were playing the Asteron cosplay and you found a +10 heavy Morningstar, and it was insane. You got the Abyss Bolt with 9 Chaos Vortices. Um, I think I know the ones, like the special Maelstroms, right? You just tapped all of them. There are people playing right now on Twitch on NetHack. So many people playing Street Fighter 6 too. I'm excited for Street Fighter 6. Okay, there's exactly one other person streaming NetHack, playing you NetHack, in case you want to watch NetHack when I'm done streaming. There were two. Oh, I guess there's only one now. Or maybe the other person is like filtered out or something for some reason. But I only see one. I guess the time has come to do the inevitable crawl mid-game. Crawl mid-game experience. Here we go. 9.2 evocations. I guess I can kill Gastronoc now. I don't really think that I'm gonna have that many issues dealing with Gastronoc now that my character is this strong. Okay, so Scholz is noisy, but it's not noisy enough to cover up for the Shield of the Gong, because the Shield of the Gong is one of the loudest effects in the whole game. I've been saying that the Shield of the Gong is like Kazlal, but it is realistically easier or like less painful than Kazlal. Because with Kazlal, it's like if your line of sight was like significantly larger than what you actually see. So monsters see you before you see them, kind of. And with Shield of the Gong, that is kind of the same way that it works. But the difference is that it only happens while you're fighting. So if you're not fighting, you're not gonna get into a crazy fight out of nowhere. But once you start fighting, you're gonna start attracting more and more things. So at least you get to choose your fights, is what I'm trying to say. And with Kazlal, you don't really even get to do that. 16 long blades, and I guess I then get 12 armor, maybe. I don't need to get the triple sword or like the double sword so quickly. I can wait. Well, your friends gave you Caves of Cod for your birthday. Congratulations. So you're learning the game right now. Looks pretty interesting. Do let me know about it. Like I've had a lot of people comment on Caves of Cod. Like some people have said that I may enjoy the game. And like I don't know. The main barrier for me is the fact that the game costs money. I wouldn't really want to pay money for trying a game that I may not like, because that happens to me with Tome. And by the time I died in Tome, like I had already gone through 20 plus hours of character, so I couldn't really refund it. I got it on GOG, not that I know if you can refund anything there anyway. But yeah, like I would have absolutely refunded it if I could. But after 20 plus hours, I don't know if you can. And I feel like that makes me a bit hesitant to try paid roguelikes because of that. To be completely fair, I did get Grief Wizard. I got it from a shaper, but Prince Cosmo donated so that I could buy it, and I fully had the intention to buy it. It's just that shaper sniped me and bought it for me before I could actually buy it myself. But I wouldn't have refunded that one. You know, of my deep love for Reef Wizard. I absolutely love that game, and I wish more games were like that one. But it certainly is nice that at least we have one Rift Wizard game that exists. Soon to be two, yeah. I think it would be nice if Rift Wizard 2, like if Dylan somehow got enough budget to push for marketing and like supporting streamers and like or like not supporting streamers but like getting streamers to play the game, like sponsored streams and that kind of thing. It would be interesting so that the game gets more exposure and people find out about the game. Because I feel like there may be a lot of people who are not really interested in video games because when they think of video games, they think of the garbage that big budget studios put out, but like they don't know about what it's like to play a real game. I consider Rift Wizard to be more of a game than most of the games that are put out by like big budget studios nowadays. At the very least, it is more fun, more interesting, and more entertaining than the games like that. You know, Redfall or there's been a lot of AAA game dev studio disasters this year. I don't have to really enumerate them all. You know what I'm talking about. By the way, when did I get 28 armor class? I feel like I blinked and I got incredible amounts of armor class from who knows where. Well, I guess I know where that came from. I did get to wear the plate. We need that. We need these. Yes, we need that. We want this and this. Okay, pretty good scroll shop. Yeah, scroll shops are the greatest thing ever. Much more likely to be impactful than other shops. Ring of Slaying. I really do want to put that on. I think that I can afford to not have double willpower. 2 sources of willpower. I think that it should be okay. But we shall see how it goes. Oh man, I'm getting hexed left and right. This is my punishment for unequipping my second source of willpower, by the way. The anti-cast rhetoric never ends, haha. Yeah, it never ends. Kazlal, in my opinion, Kazlal is the worst god in the game. Like, it is a very unpleasant experience that you really should consider not submitting yourself to. And I think that it is the god in most need of a rework. Yeah, even more than Xin. Some people actually enjoy Xin and consider Xin to be the ultimate defensive god, but the reality is that Xin is not the ultimate defensive god. I think that Nemelex is the ultimate defensive god because things just die. And even if things don't just die, you can just deal 4 on your stack deck, and then you're surrounded by walls and regening to full HP very quickly. Like, that's more powerful than Sanctuary, in my opinion. Sanctuary, you just fear monsters away and then they just turn around and kill you when the Sanctuary wears off, or it forces you to teleport into hoping that you don't land in a spot where you can die. I don't know. I don't like Sin. I don't like Sin and I don't like Kaslal. That's why I pretty much never play them. I do need a scroll poison, but I guess we haven't found any. Man, this character has gotten some pretty good loot. That whole thing was very difficult to deal with without any abilities that hit the entirety of the screen. We have Condenser Vein at 10 evocations, but it really doesn't count as an ability that hits the whole screen anymore. Man, this character is so good. I think that most other characters would have taken incredible amounts of damage from that. I went downstairs and I immediately got put to sleep. What's your chance to hex me? 26. You know what? That's a good enough reason to have 2 sources of willpower. We cannot really use a slaying for now. I'll use it later. I sure wish that I could use a slaying, but the game says no. No slaying for you today. I'm gonna be attracting a bunch of monsters. When the screen is more full, I'm going to be using the Condenser Vein to see if it actually hits a decent amount of tiles now. I've already used it at 0 evocations and it was completely worthless. I've used it at, or I haven't used it at 10 evocations, but that's gonna be the next step. Okay. It looks better. Still not good enough in my opinion, but at least I think that getting 10 evocations was enough to actually hit pretty much every monster. with at least one cloud. And that is a good thing. I wonder if the alligator snapping turtle is gonna kill me. I feel like it is really trying its best to kill me. Okay. That thing hits super hard, so I'd rather retreat, heal to full HP, and come back down. Prefer that to submitting myself to randomness of it just getting a crazy damage roll through my armor class and my shield. I have a Scarf of Repulsion, but I only have 8 evasion, so I don't think that it would do a lot. And I like having poison resistance from my cloak, so that's why I haven't equipped the Scarf of Repulsion, and why I probably won't. I think that this character is like, it makes sense to get dodging with this character. After all, I am currently in possession of 27 dexterity, and it's gonna be more before the game ends. So yeah, maybe I should get some dodging after getting armor. Before that, you were playing Pathos NetHack Codex because the NetHack styles are kind of weird. You don't know how to make console look like the one in crawl. Oh, it's very difficult. Like, I don't think you can make console look like the one in crawl. You can make some changes to the interface of the console. Like, you can make it look much cleaner. But you cannot really make it look like the one in crawl. The one in crawl is very nicely polished. There's a lot of variety in the starting character. The traits are straightforward. The money system is interesting because water is used as a currency. The only replacement are copper, silver, gold nuggets. The hunger system is good because it isn't annoying like crawling. It gives you benefits based on the ingredients you use, like the percentage HP boost, bonus to defenses. It's kind of like playing Demon Spawn, but you choose your mutations. Caves of Koth. Talking a bit more about Caves of Koth, people from other gaming communities that I have interacted with on Twitch in the past have mentioned Caves of Koth too, and have like defined it as like the ultimate game, but I don't know. I feel like the game does a lot of things that I am really not interested in. Oh man, that sucks. I guess that we use fear. We fear everything except for the thing that I wanted to fear. Sure. Oh, I one-shot the water nymph. Get me out of here then. Let's go upstairs, Baisushen. I'm gonna throw a net at you because I just got a net. And then I'm gonna hit you with my Demon Blade, and I'm gonna fail to deal any kind of damage to you. It doesn't even have that much armor class. You don't have Lightning Bolt, do you? You look like a Black Draconian in console, but you're not actually a. Oh, but you have the Thundercloud ring, and that's actually pretty messed up now, I've heard. Okay. I wonder if it actually deals severe damage. Anyway, I'm just gonna drink resistance. I'm gonna play it safe. Ouch. Ouch, 47 damage. Of all the things that I don't block the torrent of water for 47. It's kind of crazy, but sure. I'm trying to think about how I want to do this. Yeah, I'm thinking that I'm not really capable of meleeing Baisushan to that. Okay, got an attack of opportunity from the Hydra for a very little damage for only 5. Castle would protect me from the clouds, I suppose, but I wouldn't have survived to get to this point if I was a worshipper of Castler in the first place. I feel like this character is on the cusp of greatness, and if I turn on dodging, it's gonna become a great character because I have great armor class and great shield stat. So the only thing that I also need is great evasion. Il Suiu. Let's copy Il Suiu. Let's see what happens. Well, I have one of roots. I have a little bit of charges of roots. It would certainly be nice to make use of them. But I'm gonna save them for later. Okay, my Suyu clone is acting like an imp. And by that I mean it's just jumping around like crazy, doing essentially nothing. And then disappearing. Yeah, I don't think that my Ilsuiu Phantom Mirror dude did anything. The Charm Javelineer that I have has been significantly stronger. So that's why I say that Charming should be enhanced. And if it really has to take the place of Paralysis sometimes, because it's the kind of thing that you want to have only when you're fighting a bunch of dudes at the same time. I have 31 armor class. I think that I can get away with doing this. Okay, the explosions are going to start going crazy in any second now. I'm glad that all of these guys have pole arms, so they're not next to me. Okay, I think that all the guys that could explode have already exploded. Oh no, there's still a few of them that have that. Yeah, like 5. They're all very far apart, so they're not actually gonna explode each other. Why are you in? Oh, you're in Water Nymph. It's just. Oh, ouch! Ah, man, double water strike for 86. Crawl mid-game moment. You go from literally taking no damage from anything for multiple turns to just exploding out of nowhere. Classic crawl mid-game experience. Okay, Condenser Vein actually doing something. Dealing a good chunk of damage to some of these guys. Hey, look at that, the leather armor of Pathos. We also have Gloves of Strength, which I'm more likely to buy. Yeah, I'm interested in those Gloves of Strength. I think that I'm gonna retaliate. I'm not in a position where I can get hit for 80 damage again, right? As long as I stay away from the water, I think that we should be safe. Because can affect targets standing in or flying above water. Deals 3 dice of 17. I wonder if it ignores armor class. If it's like Smite or Damnation. If so, that would be pretty messed up because it deals more damage than Smite targeted Damnation. If it does ignore player armor class, then yeah, I think it really shouldn't. I think that I have to use a charge of roots here to make that guy explode. I can also follow up with Immolation, which I just found one of. Yep, you feel a bit more experience times 6. That's the result of me using Immolation the turn that I teleported. I think that that scroll that is here is a scroll of Immolation. Yeah, so I'm okay with losing that one. This is a rough level to have the shield of the gong equipped on. I have to tell you. The fights in this place are like there's a lot of really nasty monsters. Fighting them all at the same time is pretty difficult if you're not also capable of hitting the entirety of the screen at the same time, which, well, this is a melee character and it doesn't have many faults, so it definitely cannot do that. Man, I'm starting to think that I should probably not be doing this. Okay. Is invisibility gonna actually carry this? I'm gonna also use might, I think. And we can probably also get away with using a little bit of haste. Yeah, this is the kind of fight that really justifies the use of crazy amounts of consumables. I'm held in a net while invisible. It's kinda annoying. Okay, it took me forever to break away from the net. It would be nice if I had another way to hit the entirety of the screen at the same time, but I have run out of consumables that do that. You go for 4 minutes in Rocklight, you use Shaft Self to ninja the rune in Bolts 5, and then you use the Ignis ability to go to Bolts 4. Finding it is a problem though. Yeah. Also, like having Ignis for so long is in its own a downside, like a bad thing. It has all the willpower, so I shouldn't even try to hex the Merfolk avatar. There's other Merfolks that I can hex, like Javelineers or Impalers, but not avatars. At least I trained a little bit of evocation, so I can actually make use of my hex one to try to hex these guys. And your Merfolk Javelineer dies. It died almost instantly. Let's do it again then. I'm about to become visible again, so I definitely want to try removing as many Javelineers and stuff that throws things at me before I become visible. Yep. Okay. Merfolk Javelineer versus the entirety of Shoals 4. Let's go. It is dead. Okay, let's try to charm the next one. I was only staying there because I was waiting for it to die so I could charm the next one. Yeah, that's just too long of a fight. Cannot really deal with it. Did it throw a net? Man, I hate that these guys are destroying my nets. Yeah, if it generated in this game, it is mine. So it's my nets. It's just that these guys are unfortunately trying to destroy them before I can actually make use of them. Okay, getting really good charming rolls. Really, really good charming rolls. I'm charming everything. Come on, get charmed. I need you to charm you. I need you to get charmed because that's really the only use of Wand of Charming. Charming monsters that help you take on ridiculously long fights like this one. Twin of Tremorstones would also be a really good thing to have now. This character is being victim of noticeable nerfs that have happened recently. The item sets are a nerf to players, I think. Well, they definitely are. Like, I don't think there's any question. You just get less variety in options to use. So yeah, item sets are definitely a nerf.
My wife still doesn't believe in me.
Avisame que se expira. Viva Guadalajara. Viva las Monas Chinas. Viva Tatsumaki. Viva el Suntory. Y viva el Cafecito la PTM.
Okay, thank you for 34 months, Poncho. I appreciate the continued support. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. Definitely looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to finally finishing this horrendous level. Fighting all of the monsters at the same time is kind of exhausting and complicated. Do you guys think that Okay, I was thinking that maybe the rune was gonna be there, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Anyway, I have finally secured the corridor. As long as I don't see a war nymph, we should be okay. I cannot believe that I got mesmerized. 4%. Didn't find Sack of Spiders. Sack of Spiders is an item set with Box of Beasts. Oh, I don't have it. Oh, I had it in an earlier character today. I'm starting to think that I should teleport away. This is getting really, really out of control. But I'm so tanky that like I have been fighting for you know how long, and I'm still kind of in an okay spot. Like definitely not a great spot. I just keep getting. Why am I getting hexed by 2% and 4% things? Why is that happening? Doesn't make any sense. If I have two sources of willpower equipped, I really am expecting them to do something, you know? But the game disagrees very clearly. Oh, I have the mutation that gives me extra spell power on wands. No wonder that I'm actually able to hex some of these guys. Man, still the charming doesn't last for very long. But I think that charming the impalers uh, and the Javelineers was a really good thing to do. That's really the only way to make this whole thing manageable, because I was fighting literally the entirety of the level at the same time. As I said earlier, Kaslal was on an item, but better than Kaslal, because at least this thing protects you and Kaslal doesn't. There's gonna be a point where I don't want to use this anymore, and I think that I've already hit that point, to be completely honest. It's just that I haven't found a good enough shield to replace it with. Cross your fingers for a good shield. Oh wow, like I keep finding crazy rings. Um, I have 7 artifact rings, most of which are actually really strong. Yeah, the only really bad one is the one that costs 559 gold on D5. That one is not good. Um, that one with cold resistance, fire resistance, that already is pretty good. I've used the scarves before because they give me cold resistance and fire resistance. Um, so I was wearing two sources of willpower, and I still got hit by very low chance to succeed hexes twice. So I think it doesn't really matter if I'm wearing two sources of willpower or one. I'm just gonna wear uh, the ring of cold and fire resistance that I just got because I like having cold and fire resistance. Hmm. I do think that I don't really need three sources of cold resistance. If they were sources of fire resistance, it would be nicer. Um, do I do snake? Here's the thing. I just recently recorded a video that will go live over the weekend where I talk about pathing in crawl, and I said that a character like the one that I have right now should probably not do snake because snake is full of monsters that have, um, strong ranged damage output, guardian serpents, monsters that are mighty, monsters that constrict you, like it is not the best of ideas to go to this place if your only way of being a crawl character is to press staff. Um, but I think that this character is probably strong enough to not care too much about the fact that like I'm really not in my elements when I come to this place. We shall see how it goes. Oh, look at that, Guardian Serpent. Man, Guardian Serpents are the most unfair monster that exists in Crawl. I really wish that they were not in the game. Um, you see a Guardian Serpent, it's worse than a summoner because it summons stuff essentially, but it also places it next to you. Um, And yeah, like at least summoners give you the decency to show you what monsters you're gonna be fighting against before you actually have to fight them, because it summons them a little bit further away from you, so you can actually do something about it. But with Guardian Serpents, that's really not the case. You're just like, Bob, immediately surrounded by awful monsters. Um, I should just kill it. Yeah, I think charming it to send it to die versus all these monsters made more sense, but when I thought of that, it was already seriously hurt. So I was not gonna get a lot of value from charming the serpent. Why not bolts? I could do bolts. I could definitely do bolts. The main reason why I'm not doing bolts is because this place has a good chance of placing good shields. And see if the Guardian Serpent surrounds me. And it did surround me, I think. Or did that just no, it did surround me. This place has high-level shields, branded shields. So I'm searching for something that can serve as a replacement for the Shield of the Gong. Because the longer I go on wearing the Shield of the Gong, the more likely I am to die to it. Man, all the Shock Serpents. It's the one resistance that I don't have, and I have all the Shock Serpents in this game. It's only Snake 2, and I've already seen like 4. Okay. Oh wow, it is attacking me even though it is allied. That was pretty funny. Okay, what's up with all the Shock Serpents and Guardian Serpents? Man. Game's been pretty rough today with its monster generation. Um, if I have Wand of Light, I can counter the Guardian Serpents in circle because it cannot see. I have Wand of Acid, unfortunately. Yeah, crazy amounts of Shock Serpents. It's as if the game recognized that I don't have resistance to electricity. Okay, so I don't know what happened. Am I just like a ridiculous bolt or something that's placing all the monsters that I hate in Snake or something? At least I am powerful enough to survive constantly being encircled, because being encircled once is usually a death sentence for a lot of characters, especially characters that don't have a lot of linking. Being encircled multiple times, yeah. Whoever made that bolt, yeah, that's not a cool bolt to have in the game. I think that bolt should be removed. And wow, okay, I got vanished. I saw 8% to get vanished, but of course that's not gonna be enough. We are the character where willpower doesn't work. Like, willpower doesn't do anything for this character. Also, I'm gonna die. Like, it's almost guaranteed that I'm gonna die in the Abyss. I need to take off the Shield of the Gong. If I don't take off the Shield of the Gong, I'm gonna die here. It was still not fast enough for me to make incredible amounts of noise. But at least I'm not gonna make that much noise anymore. And my 3120 defenses without the Shield of the Gong are still manageable. You know, they are. It's not like I'm naked without the Shield of the Gong. I think that I have gotten to the point where the shield is no longer carrying me. It is certainly a very good thing to have, and I like having it. But the downside is too much to have in this part of the game. Crazy amount of low chances to hit hexes. Yeah, it's happened like so much this game. It's like, for practical purposes, I'm not worrying willpower. It's kind of crazy. I cannot wait for this character to reach its logical conclusion and die to a 1% chance paralysis in SOT. Like, the way that this is going, I am not doubtful for a second that that's how this is going to end. If it does happen and I do die to 1% chance paralysis in SOT, I'm gonna put it on YouTube. And then I'm gonna play Street Fighter 6. Oh, it's getting kinda laggy. Okay, so on top of getting banished, I'm also affected by lag. That beast shift there was super good because I really needed it. If it hadn't happened, I maybe would have died. The fight wasn't really going in my favor, and I had really nasty, nasty guy in my line of sight. Wretched stars are truly wretched. Pretty bad. I think that I would like to have my double sword now. Yeah, we're starting to get to the point in the game where I would really appreciate having the extra damage output of the double sword, just to kill things fast. Without the shield, I am in a good enough shape to actually survive this place. Hasn't been as unpleasant as it normally is. To be completely fair, I also did only get banished to Abyss 2. I have had characters that get banished at experience level 15 and go straight to Abyss 3, and those characters usually die very quickly because Abyss 3 is kind of messed up. Abyss 3 is where I like to take my experience level 27 characters to. I can probably kill the Lich. Okay. I went for the double sword because I wanted more damage output. I should rebrand the double sword. It's electrocution. I don't like electrocution brand on slow weapons. Okay, we found the exit. Or we forced the Abyss to give me an exit, so here it is. I'm kind of hungry. I should really get something to eat after the stream. For something as crazy sedentary as it is to stream for 4 or 5 hours, you would be surprised at how hungry you can get by the end of it. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, you still have an 8%. Oh no, it's a 32% chance. Oh, I took off my willpower. It was the shield of the gong. Okay, let's put this on then. Hope that Louise does not kill me with lightning bolt because she has lightning bolt. Everything has lightning bolt. I guess I have a scroll of silence or not. I used to have a scroll of silence. I have 3 teleports. I think we can real teleport just because I'm kind of hurt. Huh. Want to take a trip? I already took a trip. Rather unpleasant trip. Ah, okay. Talking about rather unpleasant trips. I guess I can try to charm you. The anaconda constricts your anaconda. Your anaconda dies. Of course it does. You know, I was okay without a shield in the Abyss, but I would like to have a shield for this part of the game. Let's hope that this time I land in a spot that's devoid of monsters. Or maybe not. Okay. Get me out of that Snake 2. Something makes me think that Snake 2 is the kind of level that you should probably instantly skip if you get it. And I'm out of Charming. Somehow I actually used all my charges of Charming. I still wish that it was Paralysis instead of Charming. Oh, I should have probably used that time to put on the Shield of the Gong, right? Okay. I have 6 charges of digging. Important to keep some of them for Sot. There's not a lot of things in Sot that you can use to make fights easier for yourself, and having digging definitely helps in that regard. ASMR tabbing, I suppose. Not much going on there. Those guys don't have hexes to ignore my willpower with, so they don't really do much. And there was no Naga warrior for them to ignore my armor class with, so they actually don't really deal that much damage. Yep. I have to say that this character, I don't find it that fun. Like it is strong, but it is not strong enough. I think. I think that it is taking a very long time to kill things, and it very easily gets overwhelmed when I'm fighting many things at the same time. Cannot help but feel like I'm in danger because I am in danger, and because I'm wearing the shield of the gong that's just happening almost endlessly. Mm. Finally got Lightning Rod. I think that it makes sense to train some evocations now, like more evocations, I mean. I don't have fire resistance, right? Better get that. You find Demigod one of the hardest? They have a ton of downsides. To be fair, their upsides are really good, but they don't help them in the part of the game that's the most difficult, which is the early game. Um, you only really get to enjoy the upsides of Demigod once you get going, at which point you don't really need upsides that much, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm not even talking about the lack of a god. Lack of a god is kind of painful, but it is not nearly as bad as having -2 experience alongside their terrible aptitudes. Um, yeah, the combination of those two things makes Demigod very painful to deal with. Anyway, we get a little bit of extra dexterity. Um, Once again, we found a vault with a million Guardian Serpents and Shock Serpents. Did they get made more common or something? Because if so, that's a terrible change for Crawl as a whole. I don't think that those monsters should be more common. Specifically in the case of Guardian Serpents, I don't think that they should exist. Um, when it comes to Shock Serpents, I just wish that there was a ring of resistance to electricity. Um, because you may say, oh, just use consumables, but when they are as scum as they have been for my character today, it is kind of hard to have enough consumables to deal with all of them. In fact, I already ran out of wands of charming by going through shoals. Yep, no more charges of wand of charming. I guess I still have 13 charges on mind burst. I guess that's gonna have to be what I use to deal with them. Okay, we got 16 long blades. Do I actually want to train evocations? Let's get like 15. Because you have to get more now. Okay, at least I have these happy little corridors so that I can take fights against a lot of monsters without such fights being completely awful. Most of these Nagas have launchers or pole arms, however, so it's not as good as you would think. Another shock serpent. Why? Oh, okay. There's no way Guardian Serpents are not a normal monster now. Whoever, like, I wonder if it's gonna be possible to advocate for the reversal of that change. Let me pull up the GitHub. There, like, that must be recent. I thought that I was gonna see it in today's changes, but doesn't really seem to be the case. Simplify Plasma Beam. Um, remove no monsters from there. What does that mean? Remove historical compensation for chaff removal from there. Mm, I don't see anything related to. to Guardian Serpents or Snake. I don't know how to search in GitHub. So I could search manually, but this is not what this stream is about. So let's just continue. But yeah, Guardian Serpents should not be a thing. They are probably my least favorite monster in all of Crawl. Like, I don't like Skeletal Warriors, I don't like D2 Adders, but Guardian Serpents are like a special brand of evil. Just because they do their thing where they just surround you with monsters. Um, that ability is so unfair to the player. Like, that just directly kills certain kinds of certain kinds of players. Like, if you're playing a mage and you get Snake and you see the amount of Guardian Serpents that I've seen today, that's like a death sentence pretty much. Okay, need a hole. Oh, come on. Okay, needs to teleport. Goodbye, last scroll of teleports. It sure is nice to go to Snake, isn't it? Irradiate makes you almost beg for them to do it. I don't know. I feel like with my characters that usually have Irradiate, what happens is that I am surrounded, I press Irradiate, it doesn't kill anything, and I lose like half my HP. So I would not like to be surrounded even on characters with Irradiate. I wouldn't like to be surrounded at all. Yeah, that spell is the worst spell in the game to be in the receiving end of. I don't like it. Okay, the level is pretty much empty because I've been fighting the entirety of the level at the same time because Shield of the Gong, so I can freely roam the level, run away from all these Nagas. They're not gonna be able to catch up to me anyway. +2 globes. I guess they're better than +2 globes. What about Iron Brand Convoker? Oh, Convokers are fine compared to Blink Allies and Circling. Like, they are so fair compared to Blink Allies and Circling. The Convokers take 3 turns to convoke to begin with, so that's a lot of playing around the Convokers that you can do. Like, you don't get the option to wait for 3 turns when it comes to that. Yeah, like you see that? Guardian Serpent shouts next turn, I'm surrounded. If it took 3 turns for it to surround you, I think it would be weak. It wouldn't be broken. It would go from being reasonable to just being weak. Because in 3 turns you can get away from its line of sight. And the Convoker, if you get away from its line of sight in those 3 turns, it still convokes. So yeah, not to mention the monsters that the Convoker convokes are not immediately surrounding you. The part of surrounding you is extremely relevant when it comes to the Guardian Serpent and its power level. If it didn't surround you with enemies, it would be significantly more reasonable. Like if it just pulled them closer to you, because you could actually just run away or so. But I guess the point of the Guardian Serpent is surround you with the dudes that cannot do anything if you just decide to run away. But it's not a well-made ability in my opinion, because it's either super weak or super duper broken. Yeah, like there's no in between with Blink Allies and Circling. I don't like it. I think that it really shouldn't be in the game. And I think it is a tragedy that I've seen so many Guardian Serpents and they just keep coming. Who made Guardian Serpents a common enemy in Snake? That should not be the case. I'm gonna also add a message to the Roguelikes Discord so that I hopefully receive a reply. There are ways to counter encircling, though. You could read summons or butterflies to take up the adjacent spaces. I agree if you have a turn to react. But the thing is that it's not even uncommon for you to out-explore into just being surrounded. Guardian Serpents do that frequently. I've had that happen multiple times. And if that kind of thing happens, so you have to use a blinking, because there's no way you're surviving for long enough that teleport saves you. You have to use blinking. And it feels pretty bad. I don't think that effect should be in the game at all. It is, in my opinion, the most unfair thing in the game. It's more unfair than Banishment. At least with Banishment, it checks willpower. At least with Banishment, you have a chance to survive it. But getting surrounded by enemies, that's -1 scroll blinking, and those are not abundant. There's a good chance that you run out of blinking before you run out of enemies that have blink allies encircling, if they're common enemies in Guardian Serpent, or like if Guardian Serpents are common enemies in Snake. But you have seen actual crazy amounts of Guardian Serpents in this game. Let's see how many of them I have seen. There it is, 11 Guardian Serpents. In a normal crawl game, you would like to see 0. In a normal crawl game that contains a snake, you would also like to see 0, but this time we have seen 11, 12. They just keep coming. Oh man, imagine if I didn't have the character like I have it right now. Like, I'm trying to walk away to get to a position where getting surrounded does not just kill me. I think this is a good position, actually. I can just do this. I forgot that it was not permanent. I was actually gonna let the monsters step on it and disperse each other away, but like the first one would have destroyed the trap, so might as well just take it myself. Yeah, for the first 10 Guardian Serpents, maybe you can use consumables to play around them. That's why they shouldn't be common enemies, because no common enemy should require you to use consumables to deal with it. And when it comes to Guardian Serpents, it's almost impossible to fight them 1 versus 1, because their whole gimmick and the reason why they're dangerous is because they can surround you. As you can see, if it's alone, like, it's not an issue. They're only really an issue if you have more monsters that are supporting them, and they always spawn with more monsters that are supporting them, because it would not make sense otherwise. Yeah, I've seen 12, and there's more. I still have not killed all of the Guardian Serpents. Yeah, this is definitely not normal. Like, this gotta be a new change in crawl that I wasn't able to find. Or maybe I just haven't done Snake in a very long time, and that's just how it is now. I want Wand of Roots. I want Wand of Acid. I want the Randart Amulet for 125 gold. I bet this is gonna be absolutely insanely strong. It's better than what I have at the very least. It's not absolutely insanely strong, but it is certainly better. And if it's better than Amulet of Regen, it's a really good item. Yeah, for 125 gold, it's definitely well worth it. We found Ambrosia, that's nice. Antique shops are okay if they don't have identified items, because they sell unidentified items for real cheap, and they sell identified items for a lot. We got a Kite Shield of Reflection and a Kite Shield of Protection. I'm gonna use Reflection for bolts specifically. Okay, goodbye Shield of the Gong, at least for now. That also means goodbye willpower. We cannot afford to do that. This is okay. Yeah, it's fine. This is where stealth comes in handy, because if you have about 7 stealth, then the Guardian Serpent may not notice you right away. That is absolutely the case. I have in recent times really come to appreciate stealth as a defensive ability. Like stealth as an offensive ability is absolutely worthless. Like you shouldn't submit yourself to that. But the stealth as a defensive ability, so that you don't immediately alert everything all the time, is pretty good. Yeah, that's the only way that I can appreciate stealth personally. But I don't think it works with this character. This character is heavily armored, so getting stealth wouldn't really do anything. It's more of a thing for characters that don't really have to rely on very heavy armor. You'll be back, says the Shield of the Gong. I don't know. I feel like it would be a pretty bad sign if I had to wear the Shield of the Gong after taking it off. Like, it was okay for a while, but now I think that I can survive by not having it and just equipping a normal shield. Let's continue. So we're done with the two lair branches. I don't have resistance to electricity. Bolts might be tricky with the thunder hooks. Oh, Snake 2 is that hellish level that had a million Guardian Serpents. Man, I wonder how many Guardian Serpents I've seen so far. I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of the game is easier now that I don't have the Shield of the Gong equipped. Also, I got 16 long blades already. I should probably be using my double sword of electrocution. Perhaps I can even enchant it now. I think the damage output increase is gonna be very noticeable. Gonna kill things way faster. Enchant weapon on the double sword. Okay, +6 double sword. Brand weapon 2, because I don't like Elec. We got Spectral. I also don't like Spectral. I'm looking forward to rebranding it. But for now, it's fine. Like, it's definitely not unusable. It's not like it's Chaos or something. Oh, look at that. Look at this guy. It has a better shield than the one that I have. Slight upgrade. In case you're wondering why I don't like Spectral, is because it forces you to fight in a position where you can be surrounded if you really want to make use of the effect. 7% chance to get vanished. I have File of Lots. I'm not gonna play games with you anymore. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. Luis had a +2 tower shield. I might use that. Okay. How many Guardian Serpents have we actually seen? The game says 13 Guardian Serpents. It's right there. Is that normal? Is that the new standard for Snake? Like, is that supposed to be the average amount of Guardian Serpents that you see now when doing Snake? Or did I just get like super roughed up today? I don't know. I certainly hope that Guardian Serpents are not common enemies because they're absolutely vile and disgusting. You cleared Snake today, 14 Guardian Serpents. Oh. Yeah, it sounds like you should probably not do Snake anymore. That's my recommendation. It's a shame because I just made a video about pathing and I said that Snake was not so difficult to do when with characters that are not or that are not melee characters. I don't know how I would have done Snake without this character. Like, this character is insanely strong. Partially because of the Shield of the Gong, partially because it is wearing heavy armor, swords dexterity. Yeah, it's a pretty good character. But if I didn't have all the strengths that I have, that like in my opinion make this character a busted character, I don't know if I could have done that. Guardian Serpents as a common enemy is something that shouldn't happen. Like it really is something that shouldn't happen. Yes, you think I should play a NetHack character? I might do it. I might like I wanna try to win a character for the NetHack tournament. I think that I'm gonna play something very simple, maybe something like Wizard. In case you don't know, NetHack is a silly game, and Wizard has a level 2 spell that scales with experience level. So you just get the level 2 spell and get it to the point where it doesn't cost you any hunger to cast it, because yes, a spell hunger, and hunger as a whole is a thing in NetHack, such a primitive game. But you get it to the point where where you don't get hungry when you cast it, and you just spam that, and you kind of just win, unless the monster that you're trying to kill is immune to magic resistance. Um, Magic missile is not really a projectile like a stun arrow. It is a magic missile. So it can be resisted by magic resistance. It makes no sense. NetHack is such a silly game. Doesn't it also have an identify spell too? Yes. How long would a NetHack run take me? Considering that I have been out of NetHack for more than a decade at this point, it would probably take me 20 hours. That's my estimate, 20 hours. Um, so yeah, it's not gonna be a quick and easy and happy endeavor as it would be to play a normal crawl game. Oh man. The more I think of playing a NetHack run, the more I don't want to do it. If I think that the best way to go at it would have been to just start the run without even talking about it. Like the title of the stream would have been something like, "Why am I doing this to myself?" And then I would just be playing NetHack. 20 hours in a single run. Yes, 20 hours in a single run. Um, NetHack is a very complex game with a lot of really ridiculous things. Um, Part of the process of getting a NetHack character to win the game is getting all of the scrolls and potions that are worthless in the game, blanking them, turning them into potions of water, and then blessing or cursing the water, blanking the scrolls, getting a magic marker, writing scrolls of enchant armor, enchant weapon, and destroy armor as well. You curse the scrolls of destroy armor, and it makes them if you read it while confused, if it's cursed, it's something weird like that. I don't really remember exactly how it's supposed to be, but it's something very close to what I'm saying. Like, I'm not inventing any of these things. You read it while confused while it's cursed, or something weird like that, and it makes your stuff like rust proof or like impervious to destruction, something alongside the lines of that. Like, it protects it from damage. And like you do that for all of your gear. So by the time you're around the mid game of NetHack, you already have everything that you're ever gonna need to win the game, and you just go through the rest of the game. And the rest of the game was labyrinths when I played. Every level was a the whole levels for all of the levels beyond the mid game of NetHack were labyrinths. With very counted exceptions, but the counted exceptions were like Demon Lord levels, which were not even that exciting anyway. That game is something else. To the abyss with NetHack. Wizards have magic missile without finding the spellbook. I think they get it from the very beginning of the game. Magic missile and something else. Like they get a random book and magic missile. I think that's how it is. Wizards should not cast it from the very beginning of the game because your hunger is really an issue in NetHack. So what you do is you grab daggers and you just throw daggers. And you keep throwing daggers until you can actually use magic missile or until hunger is no longer a concern. And then you just do that. There's the reverse Norse genocide. Yeah, that's one of the last things that I did in Crawl or in NetHack. I think in that same run that I did reverse Norse genocide, I decided that I didn't like NetHack anymore. Describing the game looks more fun than playing it. Imagine explaining the concept of a reverse genocide to a 15th century worker. So you can read this scroll, and instead of killing everything, it just summons a bunch of them. Man, that game is wild. I guess that we have to do bolts now. Yep. Let's go do bolts. After that happy NetHack intermission. I think bolts is gonna be way easier than snake, or at least it's gonna go much more smoothly because I don't have the shield of the gong anymore, and this place does not have endless hordes of guardian serpents. Cannot believe that I saw 13 guardian serpents. Seeing one guardian serpent is already a tragedy in an average scroll game. Imagine seeing 13 and having that be the norm nowadays. I completely disagree with that decision. Well, we got 15 evocations. I guess that the only thing left to do is to turn everything on. Not that, but turn everything on. Okay, getting punished for having low fire resistance. You have a 3% chance to banish me. Okay, let's get banished. I mean, kill the wizard. Okay, I'm a bit surprised that I didn't get banished there. If you're just joining the stream, this character has gotten banished by an 8% chance to get banished, and it has gotten hexed by a 2% chance to get mesmerized and a 4% chance to get mesmerized, so I don't trust this character's willpower anymore. It's just clear that the monsters today just ignored my willpower. Something that I hadn't thought of that may have happened when it came to the hexing is that, like, you know, there's satyrs in bolts, so maybe I was just getting hit by the minus willpower hex that they have, but I'm not sure that was the case. I think that they just legit hexed me from 2% and 4%, because right after I checked, or right after I got hexed, the 2 times, I immediately checked what was the chance for them to hex me, and it was 2% and 4%. So I'm pretty sure that I didn't get hit by the minus willpower hex. You also find it silly that frost hearts are in ice caves where it's literally impossible to not be standing next to a wall, so the entire counterplay to them is moot. They only spawn in hard ice caves, to be completely fair, and it's not like there's a million, or well, there's like 4 or 5 in the ice cave that places frost hearts. It's kind of rough, but they don't come at the same time, at least. They come one at a time, and they generally come alone. I think frost hearts in ice caves are not the worst thing ever. Like, it's rough. Definitely is difficult. There's not really a lot of counterplay to them, but it could be worse. It could be Wizard's Hex. Wizard's banishing you with a 3% chance to get banished. Also, the Frostheart thing, where they hex you, or where they hit you with the Frostheart ability while you're next to a wall, is also often impossible to prevent here. Wow, shouts to Thunderhawks hitting you very, very hard. They really like to do that. Man, I hate Thunderhawks. I hate Thunderhawks. I'm just gonna get killed by the Thunderhawk. It is beating me alone because I dared not find a good source of resistance to electricity. So many Randart rings, and none of them have resistance to electricity. These are my sources of it, and as you can see, none of them are rings. Reapers are the worst in your opinion? They got buffed a lot by the removal of Holy Ward. Holy Ward was such a good thing to have. You are not summoning anything because I have 50 HP. Yeah, it's pretty funny that this character is just going through everything in this place. Like, it's actually destroying everything. And not even Yaktars are an issue because I have Reflection and a Shield, right? So they're actually dying before they can hurt me. But Thunderhooks, like a Thunderhook is on the screen, and then I just take a million damage out of nowhere. It is pretty hilarious that this character is so weak to one specific monster. The Thunderhook Blast is supposed to check evasion, but like I have 17 evasion, I'm just getting hit like it's nothing. So I don't know if I should trust that. Okay, can I please walk out? I'm pretty hurt after all. Okay, we have Frederick with a Demon Trident of Flaming. But I have Condenser Vein, and I have a little bit of evocation, so perhaps it does something. Still doesn't hit every monster. I really hate that. Like, look at that. It gives you the illusion that it's actually doing something, but look at how many monsters didn't get hit by it. Man, I hate it. I have 15 evocations. Why can't it just hit every monster? That feels so bad. I don't like that change. I still think that it is overnerfed. Even after it recently got buffed, I still think it is overnerfed. Condenser Bane is way worse than it used to be. Yep. For practical purposes, I would even go as far as to say that it got removed from the game. If it doesn't get more buffs in a short period of time, yeah, it's gonna be pretty much that. Okay, Thunderhook just doing Thunderhook things. I need to blink because otherwise I die. Thunderhook doing Thunderhook things. I'm gonna drink my last potion of resistance. If I don't find a source of will or a source of resistance to electricity before SOT and I die because of that, it's gonna be pretty infuriating. These guys aren't even mighty. Why am I dying? Yeah, it's a slow HP warning, but like they're not hitting me that hard. Like it really is crazy. I am either completely dominating these fights or there's a Thunderhawk on the screen and I'm about to die. Even from full HP, Thunderhooks just hit like crazy hard. Um, I think that they would be way healthier if they didn't check evasion, but they also hit for less damage than they currently do. You know how they used to be? They used to hit for way less damage, but they ignored evasion. And I think that was better because um, evasion is very swingy, it's unreliable. And like right now they're hitting me always anyway, so it would just result in a nerf to them, which I do think they need. I think they need a nerf. I think it would be nice if they were nerfed. Um, Okay, somehow I have found a ton of scrolls of teleport. Like, this character has gone to 0 scrolls of teleport multiple times in the game already. Um, wow, this has been such a strange character. Um, yeah, no potions of attraction. They're not even that uncommon. This character found 2 potions of experience, but it is incapable of finding potions of attraction. Hmm. Okay, we got clouds of fire. Does it actually hit everyone though? I guess. Yeah, it's hitting everyone. That's a first. Hadn't really thought about it, but the change to Condenser Vein is just adding randomness to the game. Adding randomness to an item that previously didn't have randomness. And it was pretty good because it didn't have randomness. Adding randomness as a way to nerf things really sucks. I'm not a fan of that one bit. Okay, funnily enough, I am surrounded as if I had been fighting a Guardian Serpent, but this was the result of a Convoker that just happened to convoke in a very cramped space. If they convoke and you're in the open, it's not really that much of an issue, but convoking in a cramped space can really hurt. Okay. I fought such a massive amount of monsters that I might be done with the level. So how long do you guys think it's gonna take for Condenser Vein to be removed from the game? Because right now it is in the same state as Conjure Flame is. Like, just nerfed so hard that um, it's gonna go mostly unused and it's probably gonna get removed. Um, I just wonder if it's also gonna take 3 versions to get removed between the nerf and the removal, like it did, like it happened with Condenser Vein, or like with not Condenser Vein, with Conjure Flame. Feels bad, man. Yep, feels pretty bad. I think at the very least, at 0 evocations, it should place at least at 1 by 1 tile on every monster. I don't think that would be too broken. Um, yeah, when the item was introduced and it placed a 3 by 3 tile on every monster, I couldn't believe it. Like, it was actually insanely strong. I couldn't believe it. I obviously didn't mention anything because I enjoy strong items in my game, especially strong items that place clouds, because clouds are like the epitome of what I like in crawl. You know, effects that don't check monster evasion, effects that reduce the amount of randomness in the game. And to have it nerfed is understandable. It's just that I grew accustomed to how it used to be, and I really liked the item before. So I think that it should probably be I think nerfing it the way that it got nerfed by like making it way weaker and requiring way more investment into evocations, that it's really reasonable to make it good, while also nerfing the recharge rate. So like, not only is it weaker, way weaker, but it also takes way longer to recharge. So like, it's just too nerfed. I think that it just makes sense to remove it and return to the game Wand of Clouds. Well, like, have it be exactly how it was when it was removed from the game, but have it be limited by the amount of charges that you can get. I think that would be the better way to do it, in my opinion. Evokers will never be viable. Like, yeah, like dedicating a large amount of experience to evocations, it doesn't make sense with the recharge nerf. And even before the recharge nerf, it also didn't make a lot of sense because you needed to find the evocables, and the evocables, the ones are limited, the experience evocables are limited by the experience. Like, you need to get ways to kill things in order to use experience evocables. So it's a contradiction by itself. Like, we have evocables that cannot be a main way to kill things, and having to dedicate a lot of experience to something that cannot be your main way of killing things. It's like hexes. It's like stealth, but at least it is less awful than hexes and stealth. But like, it's the same problem that those things have. We don't want more of that kind of thing in the game. I think that we want the opposite. We want less things to be like hexes and stealth, right? Or is that just me? I don't know. Anyway, let's just continue. Inviable since the Nemelex rework? Yeah, Nemelex used to be an evocations god, in case you guys are not aware. Wow, all of these deep throws are mighty? Oh, that's so scary. Why are all of them mighty anyway? Oh, also Pakelas, yeah. I heard something about Pakelas 2.0 recently in the Roguelikes Discord. So it may come back one of these days. I think it would be okay if it came back. I like new gods. Okay, we found the bazaar. Let me drop my potions. Crown of Light of Prueba. Yes. Yes. Instant buy. I don't care if the game gives me a better source of resistance to electricity that I can buy, because of rushing to buy the Crown of Light of Prueba. It is still like, I need that. I need that so badly. I also want these gloves with regen. These are pretty okay. Yeah, now I have a source of regen at the cost of 2 armor class. Well worth it to pay 2 armor class for a source of regen, I have to say. Before I leave this, let me take a look at this again. I think that the chainmail is worth checking. It's not very expensive. It's incredible! Okay, yeah, there it is. The better source of resistance to electricity that I had mentioned. Wow. Okay, now my character is a real character. Now I am playing Kroll. Um, this is nice. It feels good to finally be playing Kroll and not have to worry about getting destroyed by random stuff. Yeah, let's go. At least it was not more expensive than the crown of Dire of Prueba. And I like because the thing that I was fearful of was not being able to buy the thing because I bought the crown. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna use a crown. I don't think we're gonna use a crown. I could do crypt because I have 3 pips of resistance to negative. Oh boy, feels good. Um, Let me pick up a scrolls of enchant weapon and brand weapon. We kinda need those enchant weapon and brand weapon. I should carry the Demon Blade just in case that I find an Hydra. Um, it's crazy that I am like a really, really powerful late game character and I still need to carry a bladed weapon, a flaming for Hydras. Hydras are such an awful crawl design. I wish they were removed. Um, Crown has Spridian has better armor class than the helmet. I guess that I should use it. It also gives me see invisible, so there's definitely a lot of upside to actually using it. Okay. To be completely fair, the condenser beam has recharged rather quickly, so it could be way worse. Yeah, like I didn't expect to have it for this fight, considering that I recently used it, but I have it. I think that I would be super dead already if I didn't have the resistance to electricity that I recently acquired. Once I'm done with this fight, I'm gonna go back and pick up the crown so that I can equip it for more armor class and see invisible. Yeah, just a teeny tiny bit more armor class, but at least it is see invisible. And extra intelligence, but who cares about that? I'm not casting spells. Okay, why am I getting marked like crazy too? I have 3 pips of willpower. Where does all of that willpower come from? Do I have 2 sources of willpower? Or like no, no, no. How much willpower do I get from being a demigod? As far as I was aware, you get like 4. Yeah, you get 4. Huh? You get 4. And I have 1 source of willpower. How do I have 3 pips of willpower then? That feels strange unless I'm missing something. Huh. No, no, it's right. It's right. 4 times 20, it's 80, plus 40, which is a source of willpower, is 120, which is 3 pips of willpower. Yeah, I just got it because I leveled up to 20. Okay. Poor Paquelas lasted only 1 versions. There was a prop for an evocation focus god. I wish. Anything that makes evocations worth training, you know? Because I think the main issue of the changes that were recently pushed to experience evocables is that they feel incomplete. Like, sure, you're now not incentivized to use them without really having a lot of experience for the experience evocables, right? But evocations is kind of a very bad skill to get a lot of levels on until you like no longer care about what you put experience on. So yeah, at that point, does it really matter that it's nerfed? I don't think so. Yeah, lots of changes in recent times that I don't particularly agree with. I cannot wait for Rift Wizard 2. Rift Wizard 2 is the promised game. That is truly the ultimate game. Rift Wizard 2 is gonna be fantastic. In case you have never played Rift Wizard 1, please do yourself a favor and play Rift Wizard 1 right now. You're gonna enjoy it a lot. It is such a great game. It is a game that really rewards you getting good at it. I won it in my first attempt because I was playing carefully, and I don't think that I would have been able to do it in a different game or like in Crawl. I think that if I can win a game in my first attempt by like playing as best as I can, it is a good game. Yeah, you should see my first playthrough of Rift Wizard 2. It is on YouTube. Um, I I went through the game without a build. I was just playing it as if I was playing a crawl character, like oblivious of the crazy broken stuff that you can do in Rift Wizard. Um, don't worry. Shortly afterwards, I started playing with builds, and well, now I know what it is like to truly play Rift Wizard, and it is a very pleasant experience. But it was nice to play Rift Wizard like it was crawl with unlimited blinking, of course, because that's the whole reason why that was possible. Because Rift Wizard has a blinking spell that is not broken, believe it or not. It is almost a necessity, in fact, because the game can be pretty rough if you don't have a good way to reposition yourself quickly and easily. Yeah, there's definitely some fights in that game where you're really punished if you don't have mobility. You own that game, but you have never played it? Oh, you gotta play it now. Like, actually, you gotta play it now. Or rather, the next time that you're gonna dedicate some time to gaming, any kind of game, instead of that, dedicate that time to playing Rift Wizard. Yeah, that's what I would recommend you to do. You're not gonna regret it. The game is awesome. It is a game made with love for people that like games the way that I like games. Like for people that consider certain things about games to be good, you know, like for example, what are my complaints of Crawl? Too random, too much variance. Rift Wizard doesn't really have that. Like Rift Wizard is heavily inspired by Crawl, but you get to see the entirety of the level at the same time. You get to see what monsters you're gonna fight. You get to see what things the monsters do. You get to see in which order they're going to do their things that they're going to do. You get to see the range. There's no evasion, so they always hit. Everything always hits, whether it's you or the monsters. So very little variance. There is variance, but like the amount of variance that is in the game is not enough to ruin the experience. The same way that the experience can be ruined sometimes in Crawl, for example. So yeah. Also, the game lets you become really, really strong and lets you do some really ridiculous things. Like you can two-shot late game levels. Imagine a cigarette, because Rift Wizard really is like a cigarette. So you start, or it's like six sprint. That's the comparison that I used to use. Haven't used it in recent times, but it is still very apt. Imagine cigarette sprint. You start weak and you start like doing small rooms, but you get stronger and stronger, and you get more and more challenging rooms until the end, where you get like really crazy Banlord floor 27s and stuff like that. That's kind of how it is like to play Rift Wizard. 7 levels of evocations is enough to get you through the late game. You don't think it's a big experience investment? I don't think you need 7 levels of evocations anymore. That's my issue. Like, I was completely okay with putting 7, 8, 10 levels of evocations. Perhaps even 12 on characters with good aptitudes. But right now I have 15. And there's been some occasions where 15 evocations doesn't feel like it is enough to make Condenser Vein good, because an added element of variance was added to it. So you can have 15 evocations and sometimes you use it and it feels like garbage. And it especially feels like garbage because it's not like you can just recast it and hope you get a better effect next time you cast it. No, it goes on cooldown for a very long time. So that important fight that you needed Condenser Vein to perform on, oh, it failed you, so you don't have that resource. So for practical purposes, it's like it was removed from the game. That's what I've been saying. Um, because you can no longer rely on it the way that you used to be able to rely on it. Um, and I don't think that's a good thing. You agree that it's an easy investment to make with big returns normally, but that doesn't mean it's very interesting because there's really no reason to be like, oh, I got an early box of beast, so you should go in on evocations now. Oh, that too. They recharge more quickly now in the early game, but it's still not really great. Like the fact that it got nerfed makes for an incentive not to train for evocations actually. Like even if you get early evocables, more dexterity because we are a swords dexterity. Well, how much damage does this deal? 51. Feels on the low side of things somehow, even though I have 13.9 dexterity. Weird. You gotta be joking. That's not real. I'm going to check the chances for this guy to do that, and they're gonna be 1%, like 1-digit percent chances. I cannot believe it. This is unreal. 4%. Clearly monsters don't care about willpower anymore. Like that's just the result, like the obvious thing that like has happened in this version. Clearly monsters do not care about willpower anymore. Clearly 12% chance to defeat my willpower means that it's gonna happen. Like it's just 100% chance to happen. Clearly that's what it means. And now I have to use cancellation because otherwise I get double crystal speared and I die instantly. So now I don't have cancellation for Sot, where that same thing is gonna happen again, and I'm gonna die because I don't have my consumable. That's the inevitable fate of this character. The classic 4 to 12, 4% chance to 12% chance combo. Yeah, of course. Like, what else am I expecting? I'm going to the place where it's a 4% chance to get vanished. It's gonna happen. Large muscles, thank you for the follow. Talking about large muscles, I've been playing Zangief in Street Fighter 6. Yesterday on release, I was playing Guile and I also played Honda. Both of them are charged characters, and my hand was starting to really hurt because it seems that charged characters make my hand hurt. But today I played Zangief and my hand didn't hurt. I'm gonna continue playing Zangief after the stream ends. Yeah, I wish I could stream Street Fighter, but at the same time, I kinda also don't. This is something that I mentioned to my friend Poncho, who was here earlier. The other day before Street Fighter 6 released because he was like, "Oh, you're gonna stream it, right?" And I was like, "Of course I'm not gonna stream it. I would rather be a large fish in a small pond than plankton in the ocean because viewership means money and money means food, and I like to eat, right?" Oh, I got the exit. Let's get out. So that's why I don't really want to stream Street Fighter 6. But when I say that I wish I could stream Street Fighter 6, I not only mean that I wish I could stream and run the game at the same time in this computer, which I don't even want to try. I feel like I'm just gonna be disillusioned. It runs well if I'm not streaming, but streaming is a rather resource intensive process. And yeah, I'm not sure that I'm gonna be able to do it. What I also mean is that like amassing a viewer base for any kind of game is like difficult. And when it comes to streaming games that are not roguelikes for me and my stream, like I know that you didn't follow me because I play fighting games once every like couple of months or so. Like it definitely is not the kind of content that you're here for. You're here because you want to see me play Crawl or Reef Wizard or other roguelikes like that. So when I play games that are not roguelikes on stream, it is understandable that you don't feel compelled to watch. And I really have no issues with that. It is perfectly understandable. So that's also what I mean when I say that I wish I could play fighting games on stream. Um, the fact that like it kind of kills my viewership, and I guess it's okay. Yeah. Mm. I also think that there's more layers to this that I'm talking about. I also think that um, playing fighting games doesn't let me produce the kind of content that I personally want to produce. And I feel like I only can reach my full potential when it comes to streaming when I'm playing something like Crawl. Because I feel like I have a lot to say about the game, and I am in a position where I can actually provide insightful, decent, smart commentary that is worth something. And I don't think that I can do the same thing for fighting games. So there's that. That also is included in the whole I wish I could stream fighting games thing. But yeah, anyway, it doesn't really matter that much because as much as I'm talking about it, I'm not gonna do it. Um, what I'm going to do is a stream from Puerto Vallarta when I got my Steam Deck. That I will do. And I hope that you enjoy my Puerto Vallarta crawl streams. For practical purposes, it's gonna be the same. I just will be in Puerto Vallarta. Um, Unfortunately, I cannot stream in the beach because I need an internet connection and a desk and stuff to place a keyboard on. Um, but I am certainly gonna go to the beach in Puerto Vallarta, and it's gonna be nice. And I'm gonna use condenser vein because I'm surrounded by monsters. Let's also follow it up with lightning growth on the demonologist. The falchion of distortion hits me but does no damage. I blink. Okay, I sure hope that I don't get banished by this thing. It almost vanished me. Whenever it says space warps horribly around you, I think, oh, that was almost a vanishment, because that's like the second that's the second worst effect that you can get from getting hit by distortion, like taking a large amount of damage. It used to also be able to teleport you, but it doesn't do that anymore. Do I need that charming? Do I need the charming? I have 15 charges, I don't need it. Yeah, I was still stuck in the I don't have charges of charming mentality because we ran out of charming earlier. But I haven't needed it since I ran out of it, so I very clearly don't need it that much. It will only be a relevant thing to have in SOT. I might experience level 21 very survivable abyss. Yeah, I didn't even mention it while I was ranting. But like at this point, it's more of an insult from the game than an actual attempt to kill me. It's just that this kind of thing can also happen when you're experience level 12 or so, when you're fighting Erolcha with your brand new willpower item and you feel like you're safe enough to fight Erolcha, and Erolcha just banishes you and then you die because of random chances that should hypothetically not happen, but there's always a possibility of it happening because apparently for the devs that makes the game more fun, right? But in reality, it just makes the game miserable to play. I wish that these kind of things were not in the game, and that's why I like Rift Wizard so much, because it doesn't have anything of this that I complain so bitterly about so frequently. I should play Rift Wizard more often, is what I'm trying to say here. You enjoy Street Fighter, but you're sorry. Guile looks absolutely ridiculous in Street Fighter 6. He's like a caricature. Seriously? You should see Zangief then. Tell me what you think about Zangief. I know that for sure Street Fighter 6 improved a lot on some character designs compared to Street Fighter 5. Like Cammy looks great, Ken looks great, Ryu looks great. Even Akuma, like Akuma's is still rocking the ridiculous Lion King look, but it still looks better than in Street Fighter 5, you know? Um, yeah, Street Fighter 6 is just a massive improvement upon Street Fighter 5. I think it grabs all the best things of Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 4. Like it's flashy. There's a lot of player creativity and liberty. Like maybe it's because it's a brand new game, but like there doesn't seem to be any optimal thing that everyone goes for every time. So like you can play a Ken and then you can play a different Ken and they will do different things, and like that feels nice, like variety. Um, Maybe that goes away as the game grows. I guess all that's left to do is to see. Street Fighter 6 Akuma is a Ganondorf looking MF. Yeah, I guess so. It is still a slightly better than Street Fighter 5, but I still don't like the Lion King look. I hope that there's a traditional skin for Akuma, the same way that there are traditional skins for every other character in Street Fighter 6. Zangief looks ridiculous too. Now look at Ken or Chun-Li. Look at all the characters and let me know which ones look ridiculous to you and which ones don't. I like the way that Honda, Zangief, Guile, Chun-Li, Ken, Kami, Ryu look. And for the newcomers, there's two that I really don't like how they look. I don't like Manon. I feel like Manon looks oddly like uncanny valley thing, and I don't like Marisa because Marisa's hair looks weird. When there's mods for Street Fighter 6 and I can mod out Marisa's hair and like I can make it not look ridiculous, I'm gonna play Marisa. But until then, I'm not gonna play Marisa. But anyway, let's just continue. Actually playing the game that you're here for. We have I'm done with Elf. I'm done with Bolts 4. I guess that I just have to get a third room from somewhere. Do I want to get it from Bolts 5? Oh, I should drink Potion of Mutation. Yeah, because I got some bad mutations in the Abyss. Okay. I don't like the -4 dexterity. I don't like the frailness. I don't like the -4 dexterity. I don't like the -4 dexterity, and I don't like the strangely shaped body, and I love this. This is really good. Yes, I will keep this for the rest of the game. I will defend this with my life. Which is funny to say because usually the things that can remove those can also remove my life. So by killing those things, I'm both protecting my life and protecting my mutations. Yeah, I'm thinking about Orbs of Fire specifically. Should I just go back to the Abyss for my third rune? I've been playing this for a while. 2 hours and 38 minutes? Oh, I thought that it was much longer, but I guess that I didn't have like a successful first attempt. It took me a couple of tries to get one going. You think Ken looks okay, kind of funny. He's got more like street clothes now with boots. But you guess it's better to differentiate him from Ryu. Yeah, also in story, like it's supposed that Ken is like wrongly accused of something and has to go into hiding, and that's why he looks like that instead of looking, like the standard Ken. But yeah, like in gameplay, they're very drastically different. Ken is very onga bonga rush down character now, and Ryu is like standard Ryu. If you've played Street Fighter Ryu, you know what it's like to play Street Fighter 6 Ryu with the added spice of Street Fighter 6. But like it's same movesets that Street Fighter 3 Ryu has and stuff, with a couple new ones, but mostly the same. Like has the kick, the community used to call it donkey kick. Donkey kick. It's karate kick, pretty cool. Hadoukens and Shoryukens and Tatsus and everything. You played Street Fighter 4 Ryu to death? Street Fighter 4 Ryu is interesting. Oh, this game has focus attack dash cancels, kind of. So like that's one thing that they preserved from Street Fighter 6 or from Street Fighter 4 and that they put in Street Fighter 6 is pretty cool. I like that a good amount because when it came to focus attack dash cancels, I never could do them, and now I can because it's so much easier to do them now. I played a lot of Street Fighter 4 from a very low level. Like I never really competed or cared to get good at Street Fighter 4. But I never was able to do a focus attack dash cancel in that game. Like I used to do the combo trials and I just skipped the ones that had focus attack dash cancels. I just did the next one because that felt so impossible to do. But in this game, I've already done some combo trials, specifically for Honda. Those are the only ones that I've done that require you to do the game's version of focus attack dash cancel, and it feels pretty good that I can actually do it. Yeah, I really like Street Fighter 6. It's a fantastic experience so far. And the online is also great. That is another important thing to notate, because what good is it a game being good if the online is completely garbage in one way or another, like in Guilty Gear Strive or in other recent games, or like for example Street Fighter 4, like the lay-based netcode is pretty rough. But the rollback is fantastic. I've not had a single game where I've run into serious issues. And I've played games with people at like 300 ping. So like it really is wonderful how magical. Like that rollback netcode that they made for Street Fighter 6 is like some wild magic. I don't know how they did it. Um, like it feels so miraculous. It's like I bet someone at Capcom like sacrificed their firstborn or something, like made a pact with the devil for the netcode to be as good as it is. Like it really is top of the industry. I thought that it was not gonna get better than Strife, but it really is better than Strife. In Strife, I had issues with 200 ping connections. In Street Fighter, I've played 300 ping connections, and it's been okay. That's how good it is. Door bolts are 95% sadistic death traps. Yeah, it feels weird to me that the door bolt still exists and a bolt that like is essentially the same as a door bolt, but you can see the contents got recently removed. I don't know why. I guess that it is more funny to kill players with very little that they can do about it if the player doesn't know that they're about to walk into a death trap. Anyway, I don't think that we're opening that door bolt. Juggernaut zombie, but I have a shield, so it doesn't really destroy me. It just hits me really hard once. We're fine. I really want a brand weapon. We don't have any. Enchant weapon? We don't have any. We have 5 enchant armor. I should enchant some of these things. I should really enchant that cloak of poison resistance. When is it ever correct to open door bolts? When you have a way to kill everything on the screen in the same turn. So like if you have ignition or so, you can probably open one safely. If you have Firestorm, Polar Vortex, Shatter, Chain Lightning, you know, that kind of spell is the kind of spell that allows you to open a door bolt without really running into massive risk. You can open them and you can beat them if you don't have those things, but it certainly is much unsafe, much unsafer, much more unsafe to do that kind of thing. We are not gonna use a Lacabrax. I guess I want these. Okay, 4 shops, and they didn't really have a lot for me. But to be completely fair, the way that this character is, when it comes to everything, there's not much that it is looking for. Getting acid clouds is nice, but as you can see, it didn't really get that many clouds. Okay, let's try not to fight in a death trap, because otherwise I'm gonna get myself killed. Yeah, anyway, as I was saying, like there's not really a lot that the character is looking for. I have a pretty strong character with a pretty strong loadout now. There's very minor improvements that can be made to my loadout, to what I have, but it's nothing really urgent. Like when I didn't have resistance to electricity, that was miserable. By the way, why is everyone Berserk? Oh, I guess you're not Berserk. You're just a fire giant, and it looks like it was a frost giant Berserk on console. Okay, the Vampire Knight had paralysis. I'm glad that I didn't get paralyzed by the one turn that the Vampire Knight was on my screen. I really was not sure if that was gonna be possible, you know, with the way that the game has been going so far. How's my shields looking? 18.8. I'm thinking of equipping a tower shield. Now that I am done with bolts, I don't really feel like I need to have reflection that much. Or like if I don't feel that reflection is gonna do as much for my character as just having a bigger number would. Or like, yeah. You hate the whole floor vault layers that you can get in early dungeon? It's not quite whole floor, right? but like I do know what you mean, like where it's just a normal level and like 70% of the level is just encompassed by a huge vault full of like ridiculously dangerous things that you have no business beating at that point in the game, right? That is pretty rough. Because if you don't pay attention to that kind of thing, it can kill you super easily. Uh, okay, Vampire Knight. It had a 2% chance to vanish me or to paralyze me. Let's see if it happens. It didn't try, to be completely fair. But I bet if it had tried, I would have gotten paralyzed, and it would have been awful. Oh, you know what I can do? I can drink potions of enlightenment for like leeches and stuff, because they give willpower. So I can just use those for a bit of extra willpower in SOT, to make sure that I don't get hexed by leeches. Yeah, the only way to make sure that something doesn't happen is to have it have a 0% chance to happen. Um, Okay, Condenser Vein is still not performing as well as it used to, but at least it did well enough in this occasion. Certainly poisoned a bunch of these guys. What happened to Gong? I took it off in shoals. I had to do shoals with Gong, and it was a miserable experience. The reality with Gong, I was always going to replace it for something else the moment that I could, and I got a Kite Shield of Reflection good enough to replace Gong with. In fact, I did Snake for the whole purpose of doing, or for getting Gong. I don't know if you were here, but I got 13 Guardian Serpents in Gong, in Snake. Apparently they're normal monsters there now, which is absolutely disappointing. One of the worst changes to Crawl ever, in my opinion. Because that's the kind of monster that like really always forces consumables out of you, the Guardian Serpent. If you're lucky, it's not the scroll blinking. If you're unlucky and it immediately surrounds you, or it surrounds you in a position where you thought you were gonna be okay and it turns out that you're not okay, it is going to be a scroll blinking. By the way, 6% mass confusion. At this point, I'm starting to wonder if these success rates, or like if the success chances for monsters to hex you are like buffed secretly. And like it sure it says 6%, but what if it's like actually 20% or something because of some weird trunk change? Because like the amount of times that I've gotten hexed by low percent chances to get hexed in this game is absolutely insane. I don't really have to list all the times that it has happened. I think that if you've been watching this playthrough, you know that it is absolutely insane. That and all the Guardian Serpents have made it so that I don't really want to play a lot of more Crawl after this. Maybe on Monday I do play NetHack after all, while I wait for Trunk to get better. Right now it is in a pretty awful state. Yeah, maybe if you get Snake, you should not do Snake at all. Like maybe just do the other Lair Branch and Slime and Bolt, or the Abyss for your third rune, because otherwise you're gonna have to deal with a lot of Guardian Serpents. You have the means to escape, like Passage of Relubrate. You can open them and retreat to take out the enemies one by one. Yeah. You have Skip Spider before. You think that Snake is normally pretty doable. Once again, this game I got 13 Guardian Serpents. I got them in Snake 1, I got them in Snake 2, I got them in Snake 3, and I got them in Snake 4. So it's a tragic reality that they seem to be rather common enemies now. Guardian Serpents shouldn't be in the game. Like, they really have no business being in Crawl. They're absolutely awful monsters, and I really dislike them. You may think that I also dislike shifters, Draconian shifters, for the same reasons that I dislike Guardian Serpents, but I think that Draconian shifters are more reasonable, because while they do surround you with stronger stuff, they do so at a much later point in the game where it is probably more manageable for your character to be surrounded for one reason or another, either better defenses, better resistances, better damage output, more sources of consumables. Yeah. Also, Another important thing, the guys that the shifter surrounds you with don't all have constriction. So only the tentacled monstrosities have it, and by extension, only the tentacled monstrosities can prevent you from normal blinking away, not scroll or blinking away. I guess they can also prevent you from scroll blinking away. But it is less likely that you're going to be in a position where you're immediately surrounded and constricted by pressing Auto Explore in SOT compared to Snake as it is now. Yeah, I hate Guardian Serpents. That being said, you almost lose a round because you got Snake around the ground corner, blink and circle multiple times. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I've died to that, like legit. There's been characters that I've had, like I had a Formicid, I think in a previous tournament, I had a Formicid that was doing like super well, and I was very happy with how it was going. Into immediately like explore room bolt, get surrounded, get constricted, cannot run away because Formicid, cannot teleport, cannot blink because Formicid, cannot shaft because it's final level, into death because of Guardian Serpents in a character that was otherwise very strong. So I really do not like Guardian Serpents. I do not like what they add to the game, and I don't think that what they add to the game is healthy for the game. I think that the game would be better if Guardian Serpents didn't exist. If I was in charge of crawl development, one of the very first things that I would do would be removing Guardian Serpents. Careful with the Crystal Spear, dude. See, I don't mind monsters that have crazy damage output. These guys were rough when they were originally introduced. Like, they could just spam their spells, and their spells were robust enough that it was difficult to one-shot them. Now it is very easy to kill them, and they also summon less spells. So the current iteration of this monster with obscene damage output is fine. It doesn't do anything too crazy unfair. In fact, it is a very fair monster with a very strong return if you do not respect it, which I think is the perfect way to do things. Just play it careful when you have one of those on the screen, and when it starts summoning crystal spears, do not let them actually hit you, because otherwise you're gonna die, and that's perfectly fair and rational, right? I think that if you're mad about dying to getting hit by a bunch of crystal spears when they're as easily preventable as they are now, that's not really an issue with the game at the very least. But Guardian Serpents, it is absolutely an issue with the game. They got nothing on Ghost mods. No, Ghost mods are also pretty awful. Man, both Snake and Spider now have ridiculously unfair things. At least Ghost mods are not as common as Guardian Serpents seem to be in Spider now. Something else that is pretty lame that can happen. It doesn't happen very often, to be completely honest, but it does happen. When you have summons, these floating eyes can charge off of one of your summons, and then when you see them, they can immediately paralyze you. So there's still a source of instant paralysis that is unreactable and not avoidable by the player in the game, which I don't like that much. Do I feel the same way about Draconians with Encircle? Yeah, that's the Draconian Shifter. Anyway, I need 3 runes, and I only have 2. Let's go to the Abyss. I think that's gonna be the fastest one to get. I don't think that Slime is gonna be easy for this character, and I don't want to do Vaults 5. So, funnily enough, I've already been in this place 2 times before. But this time I'm gonna stay here for a while until I get the rune, or until I get paralyzed by an Apocryph and die. That is also a possibility. Okay. I have Robustness and Frail, and Berserkitis. I wish that you couldn't get Berserkitis out of those. Berserkitis is one of the worst mutations to get if you're melee. Man, I have 42 dexterity. Demigods really get going when they get going. Um, as I said earlier, way earlier in the stream, in a different character, I think, Demigod is like being a worshipper of Chibrias without the slow once you get to the point where they're really strong. Okay, we found an exit. Let's just take it. Let's go back in. At some point, I'm gonna have to find a rune, or the exit, or something. But I prefer to find a rune. The thing torments, and I don't want to get tormented. I guess it's not gonna be avoidable. That is a very weird monster. It's a very weird monster. It seems somehow reluctant to move while being observed. I don't know how it works. It's fast, but sometimes it doesn't move. It's like a 650. Anyway, I'm just gonna close the door on it and walk in the opposite direction. Oh, it would have been nice if there had been shops here. The Abyss can place every bolt in the game, I think. There may be a few exceptions for bolts that can specifically not be placed in the Abyss, but as you can see, when it would place a bolt with shop bolt, the shops are empty. Pretty sad. Could really use them. How much money do I have? 1,000 gold and a ring that I don't think I need. Yep. There's one minor weakness that this character has. It only has one source of fire resistance. I wish I had two. Okay, I got subdued magic. That's actually good. I guess that I can get blink now. Thanks to subdued magic. Translocations. We're gonna need like 8 of that, and we're gonna need like 6 of these. I don't want to train it more because the aptitude is so terrible. -2 spellcasting. Let's get a port for the orb and the rune. Let's get blink. I sure will not regret that. There was a detected rune. I didn't even notice. Oh, that's kind of lame. I wish I had noticed. But to be fair, if I had noticed, I would have been pretty sad about it going away. Anyway, Potion of Enlightenment, because 9% is apparently 100%. 0% is, however, 0%. Ah, you love to see it. Gateway leading out. Okay, let's take it. Go back in again. We found it downstairs, but we don't want to go deeper into the abyss. Going deeper into the abyss equals very, very bad. I got Berserkitis again. Berserkitis sucks. Those guys shouldn't give you Berserkitis because it will inevitably trigger in the process of killing things if you're a character that cares about getting Berserkitis. So like if you get it, it's really, really messed up in ways that other mutations aren't. You're inevitably going to get the effects of it pretty much. And the effects of it can kill you, like directly kill you, because of the heavy dangers of removals of options that you get when you get affected by Berserkitis. I don't like this. It's a lot of monsters. Okay, another exit. At least that gives me the chance to regen to full HP. Go back in again. Again, Berserkitis. It's gonna trigger before I can get rid of it. You often blind spot the lurking horror with LRD or Prism to deal damage against other monsters in line of sight. Does it work like that? Does it torment other things, even if you cannot see it? I guess it does. It would make sense that it works like that, I suppose. Railbird, but have you ever played NetHack? I know that I've asked before, but I don't know if since then you've played NetHack. It sounds like NetHack might be a game for you. Yeah, with all the funny things that you manage to um, creatively do in this game. Yeah, NetHack offers you even more. Like Crawl, in fact, is sometimes disliked by people who like NetHack because they feel like Crawl is very limiting in the things that you can do. Not to mention that Crawl actively goes out of its way to remove extra utility from certain things. Like for example, there used to be Wands of Fire in Crawl, and now Wands of Fire used to be, usable to destroy trees, and Wands of Fire were removed. Wands of Disintegration, back when they were Wands of Disintegration, could be used to destroy single tiles of walls to make kill holes, which was amazing. Um, and so and so, there's been lots of changes like that over the course of the many years that Crawl has been in development. So yeah, the more time passes, the least things there is to remove like that. To be completely fair, because well, the things that needed to be removed have already been removed. Okay, we have a rock wall. Why don't I use digging here? Okay, Satyr fears me with 22. That's actually okay. I mean, I don't like it. I would have preferred not to be feared, but 22 is it's like 80% if you think about it. It's like almost guarantees to happen. I just got a port. My port is at 5%. So yeah, it turns out that Abyss experience is pretty useful. Okay, I have my rune. I'm just gonna ski that away now because there's an exit right here. My job here is done. Time to go do SOT and just win the game. I like a lot of Crawl, but some aspects of it are really frustrating. Yeah, for sure. I think that I am in the same boat. I really like Crawl, but sometimes Crawl does not like me. On the other hand, Rift Wizard always likes me. It might sound really weird, but I appreciate even my deaths in Rift Wizard, because I feel like I can always logically track my death to a decision that I made, and I am like, oh yeah, dying here was my fault, and because it is my fault, it's okay, and because it is my fault and it is okay, I can also make it so that it doesn't happen again. Like I can learn from my mistakes. When it comes to Crawl, I have been playing Crawl for 12 years, and I still die to things that are um, perhaps not beyond my control, but it certainly does feel like they are beyond my control in certain situations. Perhaps if I was a better player of Crawl, I wouldn't be dying to those things, because after all, there's people that have had crazy long streaks. So, so yeah. The fact that there's people with crazy long streaks is evidence that the amount of unavoidable deaths in Crawl is really minimal. But I feel like in order to get to the point where you only really killed in Crawl by unavoidable deaths, you really need to be incredible at the game. And I don't know, being incredible at the game seems to be pretty difficult as well. I hate this bolt, the ghost, the circus bolt. So I think the correct thing to do is to just skip the level. The bolt does not have the downstairs. It at least has that going for it. So I can just skip the level and not have to care about all those killer clowns. I sure hope that the killer clowns do not kill me on the way out. Oh. And this character is so strong. 31, 29, 23, great resistances, great damage output. Been enjoying it a good amount. Dexterity again. Okay, now it's 31, 31, 24. And my damage output is 59. Damage rating of 59. Enchant, weapon, brand, weapon. Nothing. Oh, look at that elevator bolt, so I can just take it. When it comes to being a demigod, I don't really mind the experience that I'm leaving behind. I wouldn't really get to 27 anyway. You feel like those people with crazy long strings are code divers that know the mechanics intimately. I don't think that knowledge that you can acquire from code diving is helpful for the purposes of winning at crawl. Um, the crawl is designed in such a way that it can be that case. Oh, look at that! I got hit by a crystal spear that had. I guess that I cannot see what chance it had to hit me, but it was very low. I have a shield and I have 28 evasion. I'm constricted too, so I'm just gonna teleport away before that guy can crystal spear me again. Okay, this is a funny bolt with a juggernaut in SOT and a crystal spear. Okay, that's crystal spear number 2. Through my 31, 31, 24 defenses. At least this one didn't hit me for 87. Yeah. Do you guys have any ideas for interesting builds in Rift Wizard that I could try? Because I'm gonna be playing Rift Wizard and NetHack in the near future. I think that I'm gonna take a little bit of a break from crawl while I wait for Trunk to get interesting and or better. Because right now, with the whole snake thing, the evocables, I don't think that I can play crawl and really enjoy it as much as I would like to be able to enjoy it. I think that it is for the best to just give it a break for a bit. So Rift Wizard and NetHack. Unfortunately, NetHack. Okay, let's try to not die to the torments. Man. I don't think I die if I walk away. I think I'm fine to just walk away. Oh, nice. There's a... Ah, man. I hate this vault. I know this vault. I have seen the downstairs. Why did I not go down? I didn't go down because the elevator led into another ridiculous vault. Okay, I might be dead here. At least this guy does not have Crystal Spear. Does Rift Wizard have similar starting choices of species classes? Nothing. Rift Wizard, you start with everything at your disposal. The thing is that certain things take more experience. Every level gives you 3 points of experience. The highest costing things cost 7. So you can either just get a low level spell, like a level 3 or lower spell immediately, or a skill. After clearing your first level and like keep building up from there, or like try to do the first couple of levels with a low level with your starting spell, which is level 1, and it's probably going to be pretty rough to kill level 2 and level 3 with only your level 1 spell, and like save up for something like really crazy high level spell. That kind of build is more difficult to pull off, in my opinion. We're fine. 7 HP is all the HP that I need to not die to this. Of course it doesn't get charmed. Of course it doesn't get charmed twice. And it only took 3 tries, but it was enough for me to get slowed. So I might get killed by that slow. I don't have cancellation anymore. Yeah, I guess this might be it. I don't have blinking too. The slow really hurts. I would otherwise haste, dig, and run away as much as I can. Because I know this bolt. I don't think that I've died to this bolt before, but like it's pretty nasty that there's a huge chunk of SOT that has multiple Curstos, multiple leeches. Really nasty. I don't need to blink, or I cannot blink anymore, but I can haste. And at least it's a Dread Lich and not an Ancient Lich. If it was an Ancient Lich, I would just have gotten Crystal Spear already, and I would be dead. The Electric Golem I don't think is capable of dealing a lot of damage to me. Oh, look at that. Death Cuff, Charm Paralyzed. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna use some charges of digging. And now I am unkillable. Okay, let's continue. Oh, yeah, I have all those scrolls of enchant armor. Should have done that a long time ago. Should really go downstairs. Okay, another Curse though, and another Dread Lich. The Dread Lich was easy to kill, at least. This time, I am not going to respect it, because if I drink that, an Instant Lich is gonna appear and it's gonna Crystal Spear me and I'm gonna die. So we're not drinking potions of 3. I should have done it earlier in the first fight that I took versus these guys. Having 3 pips of resistance to negative is super nice. Makes some monsters completely irrelevant, specifically Shadow Dragons. Shadow Dragons are kind of scary if you don't have... oh, that's enough long blades. The title is pretty cool. Not gonna get to 21 in all 3 of those. You've been meaning to pick up Rick Wizard, but it's so close to the summer sale that you think you're giving them you are gonna give it a month to see. You don't know anything about builds to suggest, but you'd be interested in a NetHack win. Was your first roguelike Wake back when you were a kid? When Hack bans Linley's Crawl, Linley's Crawl. Yeah, in case you don't know, Linley's Dungeon Crawl is the original iteration of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup is itself a fork of Linley's Dungeon Crawl. Yeah, it was also my first roguelike dungeon crawl or NetHack. And I've talked very extensively about it. I even have a video on the reason why I don't think that I can enjoy NetHack anymore. It explains or like relates. Relates? Nah, I don't think relates is the correct word in English. It's more like tells the story of my journey with NetHack. Yeah, that's more what I wanted to express. Yeah, I only said relates because in Spanish it would be relata, but relates and relata are like completely different things. You remember playing NetHack way back when, but you could never get very far in it. Understandable. NetHack requires you to use a guide. Like if you don't use a guide, there's legends of people who have beaten NetHack without using guides, but I don't believe it for a second. Like I sincerely don't believe it for a second. I think that the only way for it to be the case that someone actually beats NetHack without using any outside assistance and actually knows about we actually know about that being the case, like being for real, is that like it needs to be in a controlled environment. Like it should be a scientific experiment actually. Like get people to drop everything in life for like a month or so and dedicate like a full-time job or perhaps even more time than that to try to beat NetHack without using any like outside resources, no internet obviously. That's the only way to be truly sure that someone can beat NetHack unspoiled. I personally don't think that it is possible, and I also don't think that it is possible to prove that NetHack is beatable unspoiled without resorting to that kind of thing. Weird stuff you never understood, like writing El Beret. Yep, you need to write Alberet to make monsters not hurt you. Or you can also drop a Scroll of Fear. But the thing is that when you drop a Scroll of Fear and you pick it up again, it becomes, if it was blessed, it becomes uncursed. If it's uncursed, it becomes cursed. And if it's cursed and you pick it up, it is destroyed. So you cannot really do that much. Yep, NetHack is a silly game, isn't it? One of Charming. Okay, please actually do something. Oh my god, I hate hexes. One of Charming really should have an enhanced success rate because of this kind of reason. Um, you don't want to spend many actions doing absolutely nothing on fights versus several monsters. But that's the reality of using hexes and hex ones. Even with more than my usual amount of evocations, it still takes a couple of tries to succeed. What's a good background for a demon spawn? Cinder Acolyte? Yeah, definitely Cinder Acolyte. Earth Elementalist is also really good. But Cinder Acolyte and Earth Elementalist are just really good backgrounds for everything. I guess that you could also go Monk. Monk is great because Demon Spawn has a lot of invocations skill, so you can just go a god that cares about invocations like Maclef. Ooh, Monk? Demon Spawn Monk of Maclef. I'm gonna have to try that myself. Because you instantly get Minor Destruction, and Minor Destruction is a pretty okay thing to have early on with invocations. You just get like 10 or 12 invocations or so, which you are gonna get really quickly as a demon spawn, and you just mash that, and it's like it replaces Stun Arrow or Scorch, which are things that Earth Elementalist and Cinder Acolyte have. Yeah, give that a try. Let me know how it goes for you. In English, you can use related in that manner. He related us a story about, but it's not super normal. Yeah, I can tell that there's some things about English that used to be more common with you know, it's not really brother language, but like brother in the geographical sense, like Britannia, Spania, Britain, Spain. So they use words that are similar, very similar. That has always been a thing in English and Spanish, even if the languages don't really have a lot in common when it comes to syntax or grammar or anything like that. They just share a couple of words which are almost the exact same word in English and Spanish, and they also almost have the exact same meaning in both English and Spanish. Pretty cool thing. What species background combo do I think you have the best chance of streaking the longest in the current version? It would have to be an Earth Elementalist or a Cinder Acolyte. Those really are my options. Earth Elementalist or Cinder Acolyte. Species to be determined. Definitely not Ogre. Um, I don't know if Merfolk, because Merfolk has bad farm magic, I think. With Merfolk, you cannot really go for magic if you were to want to. It's a difficult question. I mostly because I cannot really imagine myself going for a very long streak with any one combo. I just think that crawl can be pretty difficult nowadays. If you were to tell me a version like 0.26, that I can easily give you a combo for. The combo would be Ogre Venom Mage. Ogre Venom Mage was the strongest, craziest thing in that version. In case you have never tried it, consider giving 0.26 Ogre Venom Mage a try next time you want to play Crawl. It really is easy mode. It's insane how strong that combo was. Because you get all the strengths of Ogre and all the craziness of starting with the entire poison package. You get Poisonous Vapors, Toxic Radiance, and Ignite Poison in your starting book. You just need to find something like Stun Arrow or get some melee or like Swiftness to run away from things. And that version doesn't even have attacks of opportunity, so you can Pillar Dance if you want to. Like, it was just insanely strong. Yeah, I would say that's probably my comfort combo. Ogre, Earth Elementalist. Ogre Venom Mage, sorry, in 0.26. In versions, like in these versions nowadays, more recently, Earth Elementalist is in a good spot because Stun Arrow is great. The only issue that I have with Earth Elementalist is that Stun Arrow or like Sandblast is a terrible spell because it takes it's a spell that takes longer than any other spell in the game to use, which is a pretty bad thing, especially at a point in the game where it really is your only option. Okay, 2 Killer Clowns. Let's hope that I do not die to the pies. I have a shield and I have reflection, so please. I killed one and let's see if I can run away from... Yeah, okay, I'm in a safe spot now. Don't even need to rest, but I don't know. There's something about this that feels intimidating. Stop stepping on that. Are you not gonna notice me? How come? I have one source of stealth and no levels in stealth. Okay. Do I have stealth mutation? No. Sometimes the Lady Soulful is not always gonna kill you, but every time you fight an enemy with a halberd, oh yeah, like the enemies, D2 halberd null, I would not even think about attempting to fight it with Sandblast. Because you can just explode, you can just be deleted. Getting deleted by an enemy that takes 2 actions to your 1 action is one of the worst feelings in the entirety of Crawl. By the way, I just realized I only have 1 Source of Fire resistance versus Orbs of Fire. That's not gonna fly. I really need more. Otherwise, this is gonna end in a ridiculous splat that shouldn't really be. I could have used Gold Scales. Gold Scales would have gotten me a lot of armor class, but it would have nuked my evasion as well. And I already used a good amount of my scrolls of enchant armor, so I don't think I care too much about Gold Scales. Yeah, I also only have 16 armor, so there's that as well. Huh. I cannot believe that I found so many Randards, and none of the Randard rings give me like a sizable amount of fire resistance. Only one gives me 1 pip of fire resistance. I guess that I'm gonna go buy or like find another ring of fire resistance. Rely on potions of brilliance or like, well, potions of flight, whatever they're called. Potions of flight for the willpower. I guess so. Okay. We have decided on that, but how do we survive the Orb of Fire now? Might, haste, I suppose. Yeah, it's a race against time when it comes to these Orbs of Fire. And there's 2 more. I don't have Blink. I certainly wish that I had a potion of resistance. But I don't have any. And I don't have any in shops in the entirety of the game. I already used them all. You remember in Bolt when I said that I certainly wish that I wasn't gonna die to not having potions of resistance and such? When I said it, I specifically mentioned for resistance to electricity, but it just so happens that I only have 1 pip of fire resistance. I would really like to have 2 or even 3. So things are gonna get rough, especially because I have way less HP now. I don't have Scrolls of Summoning either. The more things go, or like the more things are happening, the worse they are getting. Like the more I realize like I'm lacking certain options. I think running away from this thing is a massive mistake, and I should just turn around and fight it and hope that it doesn't kill me. Because that's really the only thing that I can do. Hope that it doesn't kill me. I may be able to kill it before it seriously hurts me, but even in the best case scenario, which I think the previous fight with the Orb of Fire was the best case scenario, I got hit for 41, like right after choosing to fight with it. It only hit me once. Imagine if it had hit me multiple times. Oh, it hit me twice rather. And then I killed it. So yeah, imagine if this guy also hits me for 60, there's another one. around the corner. If this one hits me for 60 and the other one also hits me for 60, then I'm left with what, 20 HP? No, sorry, 40 HP, right? 120 and I have 160. Yep, 40 HP or so. And then that 40 HP should be, or like needs to be enough for me to survive a Dread Leech and a Moth of Wrath and a couple of Killer Clowns. So that's why I didn't want to take this fight. I should have just run for my life the moment that I saw the first Orb of Fire instead of turning around and fighting it. At that point, I still had the opportunity to do so. Okay, this time I didn't get hurt. Just gonna continue walking away. You gotta be joking. That's not real. That didn't just happen. How do you explain this kind of thing? I gotta take a screenshot of that. That's unreal. I don't think it's gonna kill me, but it certainly can one-shot me. And with the way that things have been going, and with small percentages absolutely happening and destroying my character, well, there's a small percentage of this guy just destroying me, deleting my character. Let's hope that it doesn't happen. That's not real. I cannot believe that. Man, Kroll is definitely out for me today. Must be because Kroll sensed that I recorded a video criticizing it recently and was like, oh, you don't like what I'm doing? Well, take a look at this. We're gonna give you a crazy strong character, but we're also gonna make it so that every bad thing that could happen to your character happens. No resistance, no blinking. You got banished. What was it? 3 times I got vanished? No, 2 times I got vanished. You get hexed, mesmerized, paralyzed by everything, despite your willpower. And now you reflected a pie and you turned the Killer Clown into a Berserk Juggernaut without scrolls of summoning or butterflies to block the Juggernaut. That's what you call a good game. I mean, it certainly serves for an exciting viewer experience. I'll give you that. I hope that you have been enjoying it. But I don't know. If this is a good game, then I don't think that I like to have Kroll good games. Not gonna lie, that's definitely how it feels. I'm faster. Am I faster? There's no way that I'm faster. It is fast, but attacks extremely slowly, and it is Berserk, but I'm hasted, but it is a Sloth. I think that it is still faster. Yeah, it's catching up to me. Yeah, it's catching up to me. Leave me alone. Are you sure you want to? You don't want to go elsewhere? You could still turn around. Okay, it gets an attack of opportunity. I'm gonna refresh its slow. Okay. Okay, I lived the Berserk Juggernaut. Oh man, this has been exhausting. Oh yeah, I just said that I shouldn't be doing this. Oh, by the way, look at that. I took a lot of extra damage because I'm using a spectral weapon. Brand weapon. We don't have any brand weapon. I dropped my other weapon. This is completely miserable. Haste. Please don't hit me for 62 again. Wow, it just waits for the dancing weapon to spawn to fireball me. Look at that, 1 arrow of fire, 140 damage. That could have happened in that situation earlier where I was running away from the arrow of fire. But yeah, we need a ring of fire resistance. A plain ring of fire resistance, or maybe this. Oh, it's a Scarf of Shadows. Scarf of Resistance? Anyone? You got any of that Scarf of Resistance? I have a Robe of Resistance. Can't I wrap it around my neck and now it's a Scarf of Resistance? I guess not. You don't know why Spectral Weapon has such a painful downside? It really has no place in the game, that downside. I think that it is a relic of back when Spectral Weapon was a spell, so that you were incentivized to stop using it beyond a certain point. But now that it is a brand, there's no reason for it to have the downside. It's just a relic of old Kroll that it has a downside. But many things, including many things that I don't like about Kroll, are relics of old Kroll design. that for some reason haven't been cleaned up. When it wasn't a Scald book start, you think it had it. That's exactly how it is. Um, anyway, Ring of Fire Resistance. Ring of Fire Resistance. Do I really have to buy it? Oh no, there's one on Elf 3, but I guess it doesn't really matter. I can just buy one. Um, the one that I have to buy is in Nork, so I might as well just go all the way to Elf. It's not like it's much farther away. Oh, look at that, an Ancient Leech. And I have a 7% chance to get petrified with no potion of cancellation. Let's make that a 0% chance to get petrified. That's what I'm gonna use potions of enlightenment from now on. Like, you don't like getting low percent chance to get hexed? What about a 0% chance to get hexed? That I certainly do like. Cannot believe that I ended up coming back to this Ring of Fire Resistance. We don't want the willpower. Well, I guess we do, but I cannot have the two of those things, unfortunately. Unless I want to wear the Shield of the Gong. Do I want to go back to the Shield of the Gong? How bad of an idea is that? Man, it's gonna kill me. I'm almost sure that it's gonna kill me. It's a fitting end for this character if it does kill me. 34, 28, 40 defenses. Aren't those beautiful defenses? The gong will come for you all the same. Okay, now my defenses, they're fine, yeah. I definitely like having 2 pips of fire resistance more than I like having 2 pips of cold resistance, because there's no orb of ice. I think that would be an interesting thing in SOT. What if there could be orbs of fire or orbs of ice, like at random on your game? Orbs of ice already exist in Crawl. I think that they generate in Thunderdome Sprint, and I think they only generate in Thunderdome Sprint, but they exist. You'd like to see orbs of fire, ice, and thunder, as well as orbs of earth. Let me search for orb of ice. Yep, it's right there. If you search the creature bot in the Discord for Orb of Ice, you're gonna get an Orb of Ice. The Orb of Ice has Glaciate, and that's the only spell that it has. It doesn't have Malmutate or anything. It has Glaciate. Funnily enough, the Orb of Ice is immune to fire and only resistant to cold. So the resistances are not really modified. I think it would be funny if that could spawn. But on the other hand, Glaciate is kind of a way stronger effect than 3 dice of 40 Fireball. So you would probably have to be tuned into having Ice Blast or something instead of having Orb of Ice. Or like instead of having Glaciate. Orbs of Earth, which are just gigantic animated rocks nearly immune to spells with a pile of HP and armor. Have you heard about Iron Golems? 300 HP, 25 armor class, immune to electricity, poison, fire, cold, negative energy, and torment, and resistant to drowning. And it hits twice for up to 50 damage each. And it's slow but attacks normally. So you can always run away from these guys, but if they're next to you, they're gonna attack you every turn. That is literally what you just described pretty much. Oh wow, I searched for a Ring of Fire Resistance and there's one right here beyond my grasp. I still don't have attraction. Is attraction gone from the game or something? Like are potions of attraction non-existent anymore? Because I've seen like none this game. I saw one. Potions of attraction uncommon. I saw 1 or 2. I think it was 1. But yeah, like I've needed attraction for for a very long time in this game. There's been many situations throughout the game where I felt like attraction would have been a good thing to have, and I just didn't have it. It's been painful, not gonna lie. What did I just get? Oh, weakness to fire. Delightful. I guess that it's time to drink mutation. Okay, I keep robust. I get 8 dexterity. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, sure, and we lose the fire resistance, or like the weakness to fire. That's perfect. Crawl really is aware. Yep, Crawl is completely sentient. ChatGPT? Ha! Look at Crawl. Crawl is a real sentient machine learning. Okay, you know what? This is getting pretty ridiculous. So I think that the correct thing to do is to pick this thing up and then just go over here and step on that and go to D0. Hey, look at that. I got Giga Contamination. I'm gonna glow Sploth. Hey, look at that. It's that Juggernaut. I got -2 strength. I guess it matters that I got -2 strength. Oh, it doesn't matter that much because I'm not wearing plate anymore. Okay. The orb run has been pretty insane so far. The Panlord has Damnation. It doesn't have immunity to Damnation, so I can just get next to it and hit it. The Panlord has Garbage resistance, or Garbage defenses, so I can actually beat it if I really want to. Yeah, and I want to. Bring it on. Now that I'm next to it, it's not gonna cast it anymore, so I can just easily kill it. I say that you should always run away from Panlords with Damnation, but very rarely there will be a Panlord that, even though it has Damnation, is not strong enough to be worth running away from, and that was one of those guys. Very rare occurrences for sure. Panlord number 2, this one has all the evasion. I have Wand of Roots. I have not used a single charge of Wand of Roots in the entirety of the playthrough, I'm pretty sure. Or did I use it like 2 or 3 times? I think that's exactly what happened. Didn't use it that much. I can just wait for it to be next to me. It is the Void of Spells. Okay, you block the Crystal Spear. Bong. Oh, I didn't block the Crystal Spear with 40 shield. Cool. Yeah, that's just the crawl experience. Hey, a Hell Sentinel. Don't damnation me, I'm just recently hurt from fighting a Lich, please. No iron shots? Okay. Man, this sword run has been relentless. Double Torment. Okay. It's funny because Fiends very rarely do that. Okay, high armor class, no spells, no evasion, Panlord. Easy to deal with. Very fast distortion satch. I didn't even notice that it had distortion. We're at the point in the game where, like, I have 40 shield is what I'm trying to say. So melee, like 40 shield is almost melee immunity, almost. Oh, a Lich and another Panlord. This one has no evasion, it has Glaciate. I'm out. Yep, I'm out. Nope, 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 nope. Maybe if I was at full HP, I would have been able to take on that guy. Hey, look at that. It's this D2 that I skipped because it had Sigmund or something. Why did I skip this level? It had something messed up. Certainly not a tentacle monstrosity, but it had something messed up. Anyway, we're done. Finally, we're done. It is over. I do want to inscribe condenser vein with bully Natasha. I guess that I could have let Natasha lift, but I don't know. Cats are evil creatures after all. Very, very evil. Yeah, it is done. Took me a while, but we finally won a character in this new version. Yeah, the correct way to go at it to win a character is in one sitting. If you don't win in one sitting in Crawl, bad things happen. It is very difficult to win in two sittings, or at least it is for me. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this character. I enjoyed talking today. I enjoyed my stream. The character was interesting because it was pretty high power, but it was also pretty unfortunate. Like there were some really messed up moments when it came to this character. Um, so yeah, that was kind of interesting, I suppose. I hope that it made for an entertaining stream. I think this will go to YouTube. I'm glad that it turned out to be a winning character that I would like to put on YouTube, because sometimes I have all these interesting discussions and stuff that I would like to preserve, but because it was part of a character that didn't win the game, I don't really feel like saving the stream or anything. Like who is gonna really wanna watch this? Um, Kind of thing is what I feel when like I don't win the game. But when I win the game, I can just back it up and put it on YouTube, and then someone will like it, I suppose, or comment on what I have to say. Anyway, I appreciate your company as always. Thank you for the subscriptions. I saw that someone else other than Poncho subscribed. Which I definitely appreciate. I know that you want to retain your anonymity, and in fact, I know that you want to retain your anonymity because I didn't get a notification, but I saw the number go up, so I can appreciate that a lot. Thank you all for your contributions. Thank you all for your pleasant company, and let's see who we can rate now. I am the only person playing Crawl. I feel like I've seen this NetHaka person before, but this NetHaka person is playing Genshin Impact, so that's not what we want to see. We want to see NetHack. I thought that maybe someone was streaming for you, NetHack. At the start of the stream, someone was streaming for you, NetHack, but not anymore. Rift Wizard. Yeah. Man, when it comes to roguelikes, very few people actually stream roguelikes on Twitch. That's what I mean when I say being a big fish in a small pond. Like, what do I have? Like 20 viewers, and that's I think because I centralize the entirety of the viewer base for roguelikes on Twitch. Yeah, I still appreciate your continued support as always. I guess we can rate Justin Wong, who's playing Street Fighter. I think that Justin Wong is doing a 24-hour stream. So I was talking about Street Fighter 6 before. If you haven't seen anything about it, you might want to join the raid to watch it. I will be playing more of that myself right after I end the stream. So thank you for watching. Once again, see you around. Have a nice rest of your night. I'm gonna press the raid button and I'm gonna end the stream now.